Well, that's easy. It seemed to work.
Yep.
Well, let's see if we're going to the right place.
You can do it. You can do it.
Thanks.
I see it popped up on YouTube.
Yeah, in the right place?
Yes, it seems to be exactly correct.
Well, God bless America. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. The Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way. We're zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We've got your back, no wreck. We've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in the fun, engaging way.
Well, oh, wait a second. I went to this scene because I wanted to have the tiles on, but now the tiles aren't on. Where are my tiles? No. Oh, no, God, now I just ruined the whole scene. Fail. Hi, everybody. You know who didn't fail? Look at these happy guys winning their Emmy. The Zoom graphic, oh my Lord, Zoom for broadcast won an Emmy. This makes me so happy. I couldn't love this anymore. Congratulations.
I have only one comment about that video. It's backwards.
Yes, it is.
Cell phone.
I don't know what to tell you. But just to the entire team, congratulations. Just amazing. Really, really amazing. Hey, Peter. How you doing?
Good.
What's going on with you? Anything exciting?
Yeah, I'll be running in a class this weekend via Zoom, but so I've been busy, and Robert is the one who clued me in. I've been busy experimenting with OBS to see what I can replace so I can get rid of Memo Live.
Ecamm.
This is my own nickel,
Yeah. And
so
Ecamm. I'm just saying. Ecamm.
OBS.
and that's what I am. I'm using OBS.
Peter, I think you need to protest because in those tiles at the introduction, you weren't in a tile. It was just the honorary Tony Mobley, myself, and Mike Latta.
I made it this
no
week. I'm
control.
so impressed.
Yeah.
The rest of you were confined to, I have no idea which tile.
I have no control over this. So just be kind and gentle, everyone. It's something we're still asking for from tiles. Remember, we
playing
take what they
peekaboo.
build and then use it in ways that they weren't intended to be used.
We were playing
Sorry,
peekaboo
Robert, go ahead.
behind you, David.
We're just joking, Dave.
Yeah. Wait a second. Now my thingy is all off, like I'm off center. Let me just fix this. It's better.
Sounds like a personal problem if you're off center.
I know. It's really I have many personal problems. Can we Hasmuk, can we just go to you? Hi, Hasmuk.
Hi, kind David. How you
Kind
doing?
Hasmuk.
We're still friends, right?
Are you kidding me? I love you, my man. Love you. How are you doing over there?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
I had a shoulder problem and I decided to go and see an orthopedic surgeon.
Oy.
And my son arranged a MRI. So my son calls me, I got good news and I got bad news. Which one do you want first? So I said, as a radiologist, how bad can it be? So I said, give me the bad news first. So unfortunately, I've torn a couple of tendons on my shoulder.
Oy.
I said, what's the good news? He says, man, your bones are solid. There's no
You've got
issues
solid
with
bones.
them. Solid bones, and
There you go.
the attachment of the tendons will go very well. I said, okay, that doesn't sound much of a good news to me.
I think that sounds fantastic to me. Come on now, you got solid bones, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. For a
what more-
vegetarian.
What more do you want in life? Ray Franklin, he doesn't have solid bones.
That's
Look
it.
at him.
And I'm pushing the octa next year.
Ooh.
So I'm happy to have whatever. Never mind. I'm not going to follow this.
I'm happy to see you here. Oh, Mike Latta's here. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
I need to make you a
Mr.
co-host.
Peskin. Yes.
And Tony Mobley's here. Sorry, I got you.
Greetings.
I got you mid picking something up. I apologize, Tony.
That's okay. I'm happy to be here as always on Friday afternoon for me.
We're
It's
happy
always
to
a
have
pleasure.
you, as always. Robert, what are you on today? This is going to be our new game, by the way. It's the Wheel of Robert, right? What is Robert coming in on today? Is he on the Ivy? Is he on his full setup? Is he on his kind of not really setup?
I am in audio sync because I've sorted that out. I don't know how good my audio is, but it's
Sounds good to
working.
me.
And I'm on the Ivy, and I'm looking straight into your eyes, David. And I've been thinking of you a lot this week because I was trying to figure out what it is it makes me so happy when I join the Zoom test kitchen. And at one point I said it's because the whole atmosphere is very entertaining as well as educational. And now I've figured it out because I was reading Winnie the Pooh, And it took me till the very last sentence to understand why I like the Zoom test kitchen. Because the last sentence is that in the enchanted forest, the boy and his bear will continue playing all their life. Yeah, and it's just that atmosphere that makes it so good.
We're just going to keep playing with Zoom, our little bear, for the rest of our lives. Have you ever seen Ted, the movie Ted?
No, the
It's
movie, no.
completely not safe for work, but it's so funny. And you made me think of it because it's a grown-up boy with a teddy bear, basically. A teddy bear who comes to life. So I'm glad you're here. You make me happy. You know who else makes me happy? Jason.
Hello, friends.
How you doing, Jason?
Well, I ran out of day before I ran out of work. You know how that goes.
You ran out of day. I like that. And Roland is here in the background. Good to have you here, Roland. And I am so happy to see you back, Erm. We missed you for a week or two.
I miss being here a lot.
you.
Thank you.
Good to have
I
you.
echo everything that Robert said. It's such a great place to be.
It is a good place. It's a fun place
Thank
to
you.
be. You know who else I miss? And I don't know if you're listening, but I've been missing Ray. And I've been missing
Ray Harwood, not
Ray Harwood.
not the
I
real
mean, I
Ray.
miss you just because, if you don't live in South Florida, so I miss you.
Right.
But no, I get to see. But Ray Harwood and I'm missing him so much I just blanked on his last name, on his first name rather.
I'm sure Ray Harwood is very busy.
Oh, he's always busy. And
Kind of
that's-
guy in demand. Well, how about John? Are you missing John Drinkwater?
I do miss John. I love
didn't know
John.
that.
I miss Frank. I want Frank to come back. Frank, if you're listening, come back.
I don't see
You're
him
one
in
of the
that.
only smart people here. Please come back, Frank. We need you. You're one of the only people who actually knows what they're doing. Hey, so just so two things. The first is the ongoing saga of the live streaming app. So I like giving you all updates on this. So it has worked perfectly for the past few weeks. And I got to it today and it would not add my YouTube channel. You know how I told you last week I have to remove it every week. And then so I came in this week, it wasn't even there, didn't have to remove anything. I could not add the YouTube channel. So I was able to add an RTMP feed because I had already set up the stream. So that's fine. You don't get all the bells and whistles when you do it via RTMP. So usually on this this is the live streaming apps window. Usually I could see chat here. So that's not available for custom streams, but I do still have these buttons up at the top. And if Mike, if you could tell me, I'm going to go ahead and go into, so I'm now in gallery view. Actually, wait, let me clear the spotlight. So I'm now in gallery view. Can you tell me if we're still seeing speaker view in YouTube, Mike?
Yep. Checking.
Yeah.
So-
At this particular point, no change right now. I'm still seeing you full screen.
Good. So the reason I'm asking is because one of the really nice parts about the live streaming app is these three buttons up at the top here that let you tell Zoom what you want to send out to YouTube. So it doesn't, the YouTube folks do not follow the host. They follow what you tell them, what you tell Zoom to do. So this is one of the really nice features because I love having everyone in gallery view. But if I do that, then that's what gets sent out. So that's the good news. RTMP, even if you can't connect directly to your YouTube channel, you can do an RTMP and you can still use this functionality. You just won't get the chat in there. So.
So what was the error message you got today, Dave, when you tried
I
to
didn't
connect?
get an error message. So usually what happens is you click add channel, which takes you to your browser. You usually what happens is I have to log into Zoom there. Then I log into YouTube and choose the channel I want to go to. Today, it was not logging me. It wasn't taking me to the Zoom login. It was taking me directly to the YouTube login. And I would do it. And then it would say, I would click add channel, and then it just wouldn't do it. It would just take me back to the app, and I was right back where I started. So no error.
I asked this because I use the standard YouTube streaming integration within Zoom,
which you can't go to a pre-scheduled, correct?
Unless you do a specific RTMP.
RTMP, right.
Yeah. But if you're doing it and you want the overflow to go from the meeting or the webinar into YouTube, then you have to use the inbuilt YouTube. Yeah.
I didn't really. And that will work even if you do it as RTMP?
No. It only works if you do it as with the integrated configuration between your YouTube channel and Zoom account.
Okay.
And I've had a couple of problems with this when I'm doing events on a client's license, where I have access to a Zoom account. I am the host of the meeting. And when I initiate the YouTube and I go onto the channel that he's given me access to, I get the message that YouTube has not authenticated Zoom to access this channel. Yeah. And so that's why I was asking you what the problem is. And the trouble is I can't figure it out either. It happens sometimes, it doesn't at other times. So
yes, it feels completely random to me. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to share is that right before we jumped on, like at 2:35 my time or so, 2:30, well, whatever. We got notification that a new version was released. I'm on 6.6.2 right now, and 6.6.5 came out. So I had already started the meeting, so I decided not to try and update. But I did open on another computer and try and update, and it actually isn't letting me. So it hasn't fully rolled out yet. It's saying that I'm on the latest update still, but this is 6.6.5, and there are a couple of things on here which I've seen before, so I'm not sure that this is all new. Redesign video settings interface with approved appearance controls. I thought that they had already done this, but I could be wrong. Right? With the camera tab renamed to video, is it still? Yeah, that's old because mine is already renamed as video. So maybe some of these things, just little tweaks to them, or some of them haven't rolled all the way out. But this is not fully available yet, but I want to let people know that there is one, at least it's not available to me yet, but there is a 6.6.5 on the horizon for us.
Have you actually read through those notes? Do you know what we should be expecting, David?
Not fully. I just skimmed. They literally just came out, so I just skimmed it. Call a room meeting action for Zoom rooms. Task creation for meeting chat messages. Again, I just want to be clear. Some of this may already be implemented. I just don't know. Task. You can create and update tasks from the in-meeting chat. I like that. That's actually kind of cool. We can't test that though. Well, no, we can't. The meeting participant can navigate to the more menu, select create a task. Wait, let's actually, hold on, let's try that. Let me move this and open up, where's my chat? Chat, there you are. So if you click there, no, I don't think so. I'm just looking to see if there's a way to do this. I don't. So what the notes say is, meeting participants can create and update tasks from the in-meeting chat using a new tasks option. For any given meeting chat message, the meeting participant can navigate to the more menu and select create task. A Zoom tasks modal opens within the meeting. So that must be new because I don't see that anywhere in my chat thingamabob. So we'll have to play with that when it. Yeah, I'm not seeing it anywhere. The redesigned video settings interface, which I think we already have. Meeting host controls for smart name tags. I believe I remember seeing that before. Enhancements to meeting timeout and duration experiences. For paid users, if no activity including recording, live streaming, or additional participants are detected after 55 minutes, a 5-minute countdown modal will appear. So if you're not recording, if you're not live streaming, and if no one joins, then it's going to suggest that your meeting stop.
That's what it sounds like. Sounds like it's saying, "Why are you using my resources?"
Right. Let me jump into settings and see if that's, again, how do I get here? It's so frustrating. Here we go. Okay. So where did it say I go? Settings, meeting and webinars advanced. Let's go into settings. I see you, Hasma. Give me 1 second here. Settings, meeting and webinars advanced. And then advanced meeting. Why do I feel like I'm not in the right place? Advanced meeting. Automated captions. No. What was it called? Auto what? Auto end? Automatically end meetings. End meetings. Let's just search for it. So maybe this hasn't rolled out yet also, because I don't see it here. Let me check and see if it's in the account settings. What is going on? Where did it go? Wow, that was strange. Okay. Account settings. And so let's do again. End meetings. Yeah, okay, it's not here yet. Go ahead, Hasmek, and then I'll get back to this.
Yeah, I see Jason also just posted something in chat. I don't know when the auto framing was introduced in settings, video settings. I prepped a new machine and downloaded the newest version of the client, and we were playing with it. And I used an iPhone as my camera, and I saw this auto framing. I said, that looks really great. That's useful. But then I I cut to the slide decks, and it started auto framing the slide deck. So it actually, the 16 by 9 slide.
But wait, were you screen sharing or what? Were you bringing it
No,
in?
no. I was.
You're doing things that Zoom was not meant for, right? Yeah.
So I said, before I take out this machine on the road, let me test this. So I set up the whole thing with the ATEM, and I plugged everything as if I'm on site. And I was going to use 2 iPhones in this hospital. So I used the iPhone as my webcam, and I noticed, and I was using I was using Shoot, I think, as my webcam app, and it started doing auto framing. Oh, that's strange. I don't think Shoot has auto framing, but it started auto framing in the program out. And then I said, "Oh yeah, that's great." And then I cut to the slide as one of my. So I was putting the slide into the program, and it started trying to frame the slide. And what it did is it cut off a quarter of the slide deck. And luckily I checked before I went to hospital. And, I said, and then I went into settings and I said, oh my gosh, there's a new little setting there called auto framing. Switch that off and then I was fine. So I
Yeah.
was just wondering when that auto framing was introduced.
We got that a couple, 1 or 2 ago. Yeah, two ago. So this is what he's talking about. For those of you who don't know, so this is a different Zoom meeting over here. Whoops. And if you go, so right now it's turned on. And so if I were to, well, it should be. No, it's not. If I were to move around, yeah, I do have auto frame on. Hello. Why are you not doing it?
Gotta
It was doing it just now.
I know it was, but now it's not. Why not? Let me turn it off and toggle it off and on. So under video, you now have this auto frame my video. It's right under blur my background. So now if I move around, there it goes. It just takes a minute. There we go. Oh, and Mike, so Mike, put that back up. That was funny, actually. Take a look at this. So
Go right ahead. Yeah, put me up. You're in spotlight right now. There we go. So watch everybody. This is basically what Hasmaker is talking about. So I've turned on auto framing and I'm using the ATEM. So I'm going to a still picture that actually John and I use on our weekly show on the Live Lounge, which has it's a picture of multiple people in the picture. So watch what Zoom loves doing to this. Here we go. Woo! Nope. We want to go over there. No, we think this is perfectly where this should be auto framed. And then watch when I come back. Woo!
Right. But
now
look,
back.
I mean, auto frame is not for people like us who are doing production and bringing production into Zoom, right? It's for everyone else who's just using Zoom.
So quick question, Mike. Will it attempt to auto zoom a static image if there's a image of a cartoon or a person, or will it try and do that if there's only text?
Well, what I've seen, and again, the only reason that I knew that there was the auto framing functionality was that it got released just before John and I did a Tuesday show. That all of a sudden I went to that, and all of a sudden it automatically by default when I upgraded, it automatically turned it on. And all of a sudden I went to that still, and all of a sudden it started doing this to me. I'm like, what is going on? And, and again, of course, it's a cartoon picture, right? So to answer your question, human, non-human, it's trying to do its darndest, thinking that one of those out of the 6 boxes is the right thing to actually put into the center.
Let me just interrupt for a second and say Ray Harwood.
Hello.
There he is. Look at that. You just say his name 3 times. I'm so happy to see you, Ray. How are you?
Thanks. I'm doing well. I was listening to YouTube while I was in the kitchen getting my protein for my my diet and that sort of stuff, and hopped on in. Happy to come in.
Good.
Good
Happy to see you here. Good to see you. And look who else is here. John Idelson. Hello, sir.
John.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry I'm late. I was delayed coming back from the Emmy Awards ceremony.
John, we showed the short little clip of them dancing with glee with their Emmys. Congratulations to your son and to the entire team. It's just amazing.
And have you seen the video that the Emmy played to the audience there?
With Alex in it and yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if that's
it's up on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
It's up on YouTube, but
here, I'll just play 2 seconds of it. This is because it's worth it.
One of the hardest things about bringing guests on is making sure that A, you can get the highest quality video and audio and a solid connection, and B, it's something they actually understand how to use.
Zoom's open platform makes all the difference. It lets us integrate, innovate, and scale. Zoom for broadcast is a game changer.
Zoom for broadcast. a modern approach to remote contribution for television, enterprise production, and content creation. It's a suite of capabilities, integrations, and production tools built specifically for broadcast and high-end media production.
It was getting hard to get people to come physically into the studio, but it never really felt like, wow, this virtual guest is here. And with Zoom ISO, that became possible.
Zoom ISO is a dedicated app which provides individual clean video and audio feeds of Zoom participants to industry standard protocols like NDI, Dante, SDI, 2110, or SRT. Guests join a familiar Zoom interface, but the production team has a suite of powerful tools to integrate directly with their broadcast control room.
Customers already know how to use Zoom, and so do their guests. So they receive that Zoom invitation, they join the show, and they look like they're in the studio with you.
When diving into the broadcast industry, we wanted to understand what their workflow was, understand their use cases, and make sure that we were delivering amazing solutions grounded in customer truth.
For 20 years, we've been talking about technology with a variety of hosts, people on from all over the country, all over the world. And many a night I'd be here till midnight trying to clip it all together into a single show. And now we have Zoom for Broadcast, and what a difference it makes. All of our hosts come in crystal clear video, perfect audio. We'll always rely on Zoom for Broadcast. It gives us the best possible picture.
Just amazing. Amazing. So I said last night on the rundown that it's one thing to be proud of people for earning an Emmy and winning an Emmy. It's another thing for us to be able to say, wow, we know these people and they're our friends. And I mean, for you, they're your son. But for us, they're our friends, and they actually, when we have thoughts, they care. They listen to us. I mean, it really is. It's an honor.
Well, more importantly, they're just not friends. I mean, talking to the team, office hours during COVID, the support, this was listening to the customer and meeting the needs. And we were more attuned to using it than broadcasters. I think the interesting thing, I was talking to some people there, and when they saw Zoom, they said, why would Zoom get an Emmy? And then when they saw what they were doing in Zoom for Broadcast, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And those guys have been on this show.
Yep.
This show.
Many
They've been
times.
here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. It feels a little crazy to me. And they're younger than my children, which makes it which is even worse.
Well, when you're as old as I am, they're all younger than you are. But the more interesting thing is that there were three amazing software groups that also got Emmys this year. Boris Effects, which has been doing this for 25 years. There were two other groups where the SMPTE 2010, they said 10 years to develop. Another group talked to us a 10-year process. Zoom for Broadcast came together in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
The magical thing that I find about being in this community is that we beta tested all of this.
That's
we
what I
saw
love.
it
Yes.
early, and we played with it, and it was really, really exciting.
So I had a very large non-profit fund come and visit me, and I said, we do Zoom broadcasting. We don't just do Zoom meetings. So he said, explain to me. So I tried to explain all the different components that makes up the ecosystem to do broadcasting. Obviously, I showed him Companion and a whole bunch, but I said in Zoom, there's a thing called Zoom ISO, then there's something called tiles, and this is what we use. And when Andy explained that, so he says, what do you mean, Andy? He said, he's the guy who wrote the software. So I said, yeah, we know him. He says, how the heck do you know him? So I said, well, actually, when he just launched Zoom OS and Zoom ISO, we were privy to beta testers. And I could see the total drainage of this exasperation, and he just went completely white. And he says, "Man, no wonder you are leading this in your field." So I think often when we mention the people we know and the people we react, most people find it like, hey, I met this famous actor, and I know this actor. And so it's a real fun experience to have.
I went to the first seriously well done Zoom wedding of one of the most important people at Zoom. Brendan Iddleson. I mean, like, he invited us to his wedding, for goodness sake. Well, I don't know if he did, but John invited us to Brendan's wedding over Zoom.
Yeah, I was there too.
And Greg Gibson, who took pictures of presidents, and he was operating that production.
That's
and
right.
Andy was a cameraman. It was great fun.
It was amazing. Yeah.
The other thing is I got to talk to some of the senior people in SIPD. And so that, there's the big Hollywood one and the red carpet and all of that. But they were saying this is more of the purist, because, the way the Emmys are picked, there's people vote and there's committees and the reviews. He said there's lots of politics in the entertainment space. But he says in the engineering space, it's based on things work. There's not really any politics. And I should go on the list. One of the Emmys this year was for a single guy who's a poet who created a sound sweetening tool, which is amazing. If you haven't, we should go get the information on that. So you go look at the Emmy. It starts M something.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. That's fantastic. All right.
I'll look it up for you, David, while you run the show.
Emmy Sound winner. Oh, look at that. Yep, engineering side. Here we go. Mark Shubin, is that who it is?
No, that's
achievement award.
That's achievement award.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, so this is on the. Here we go. So Lucid Link.
Not that.
Hush
That's
Pro.
loud. Hush Pro. Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it.
Let's see.
Hush Pro, SMPTE, Zoom for Broadcast, Boris FX, Avid. It's got to be that one. Oh yeah, because now we're into 2024. So what's it called? It's called Hush Pro.
Hush Pro.
All right, let's look up Hush Pro. You're saying it's pretty cool, huh?
It's that. So it's not real time. It's post production. Cleaning up dialogue, built for Apple Silicon Macs, powered by machine learning.
ML powered dialogue repair. Wow.
And the price on this is hardly anything. I think it's $80 for an individual license. What are the numbers there? I can't even see. So
$249 is what comes up for me. Yeah, the single user license is $249.
Okay, went up since you got the Emmy. No, anyway,
since he won the Emmy, went up significantly since he won the Emmy. Yeah,
but you could play with it. But literally, it's amazing. I did some tests here with a leaf blower and talking on my deck, blowing leaves, and then put it up there, and it got rid of it.
Wow.
It replaces, on most, a lot of productions, film productions, they have to come in post and do the audio recording of dialogue.
Nice. What else is going on? We had a couple other people join us. Michelle, there was a Michelle here. It looks like she may have jumped off. What are people working on? What's going on in your Zoom worlds? What bugs or challenges are you having?
if I may, David, I think I've talked a time or two about this nursing conference that I'm putting together for April, and I'm trying very, very hard to make it a global conference, where I'm currently only able to make it an international conference because it's going to be a paid event. And one of the things that I did not discover until the last couple of weeks is that Zoom will allow anybody anywhere except for 5 or 6 embargoed countries, anybody anywhere to join a free event. But as soon as you make it paid, they exclude darn near half the universe. And what I was hoping to be able to do was to charge people, in the U.S. and Canada, for $40 to attend, and over in some places maybe $20 to attend, and in some of these smaller countries be able to give them free tickets. And I don't know. It's becoming a challenge, and I've reached deep into Zoom for a couple of people. Can you get me some information? And they've come up dry with nobody really that can answer my questions. Like, if you create a paid event and you send again, this is Zoom events, multi-day, multi-session, and you give someone a pre-registered ticket, you just go, oh, you've got this email address and I'm just going to drop you in and you'll have a free ticket. How does Zoom know they're in one of those countries that's not actually permitted to be in a paid event if they're in one of those free countries that's eliminated? Can I actually do this? Does it actually work? Or does it go, no, we're sorry, they're from, I don't know, Argentina or wherever, and they can't come in. And Robert, you were the first person that I thought might actually know something about this.
Can I just ask a clarifying question, though, before you jump in, Robert? Why would a country not be allowed to participate in a paid way?
Robert may know more. I have read what Zoom says, but Robert may know more.
I'm basing my information on the paid webinars and not on Zoom events. And with paid webinars, the limitation is on the transaction company that Zoom uses. That transaction company does not operate in those countries for whatever reasons. I don't want to get into the reason.
I have to beg to differ, actually, because what I've done is I use Stripe. I don't use PayPal. And I've gone into Stripe, and what I've found is that if I use Stripe external registration, there's about 2.5 times the number of countries that they will actually do payment processing with. And so Zoom has chosen not to allow, or through their agreement with Stripe or whatever, they've chosen not to allow certain types of transactions. And so, then I can, with a little Stripe to Zapier to Zoom events, I can actually bring in a free ticket that's not really free because you paid for it on the outside. What I don't know yet is if I have someone on the outside register for a free ticket, can I just drop that in to a pre-register file and they'll be fine, or will they be excluded after all? I don't have an answer to that, and that's my goal this next week, is to find the answer to that.
Okay, just following up, I can only answer to Zoom webinars because that's where I have the most experience, and that is exactly my experience. And from my understanding from a person I spoke to in the bank, is that when you sign an agreement with PayPal or with Stripe or anyone as a payment receiver on your behalf, you have to determine the transaction fee. And the transaction fee is dependent on the country of origin of the transaction. And that's where the killer is. Some of these companies just don't agree to accept such a high transaction fee of the company that's providing the interface.
But if there is a free ticket, if you've got paid tickets and places that are not embargoed for whatever reason, they pay. And then, and I'm expecting that many of these countries will have very few participants. Some of them are very small, and some of them are, economically disadvantaged and may not even hear of the event. But I want to make it available to them. And my sponsors, I'm taking 25% of my sponsor fees and putting those into the free ticket area, and basically funding those that way. So if they're free, there's no transaction fee, and they ought to be able to go ahead and attend. I'll find that out in the next week.
They do in the webinar, if that's so. I think it's you're looking down the right track, Ray. They do in the webinar. You can get them to enter as a free ticket where they don't have the transaction associated. See, there's something. There is a certain amount of fraud that takes place in these online transactions, especially with credit cards, where there's a refund fee, and the fraud means that someone asks for the transaction and then someone else asks for the refund. So there's like two different participants. And this is one of the limitations that have been put in on certain countries. But go for it, to try it and find out which.
Yeah, the actual testing and me trying to play like I'm from, wherever, I don't quite know how to do that yet, but I will.
You need to ask someone for help in the country, that's all.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Did you know that it is Tech Week? Did anyone know that?
Every week is Tech Week.
Every week. Yes, it is. But it's Tech Week, and Zoom has big discounts this week. So if you are a new user, this does not apply to any of us. If you are a brand new user, you can get a Pro license for $127, a Pro Plus license, which I didn't even know existed. Apparently that includes Zoom Phone.
Yes.
Apparently it's always been there. I just had no clue. I've never seen that before. And a business for $175 per year. It is interesting that if you look, and I've had this confirmed in at least 2 places in the United States, but if you look at the business, the number of users, this does not allow you to sign up as a single business user like you can from the regular site. You have to have the minimum, we're back to the minimum of 10 participants to be a business user. But this is at zoom.com/tech-week. Zoom.com/tech-week. If you are looking to join Zoom,
read the small print below, David, because that's important. It's valid till tomorrow, I believe, or the 20th. Sorry,
through the
3 days, the 20th. Yeah. 3 days only.
Discount offer is available to new customers purchasing a Zoom Workplace Pro, Pro Plus, or Business Annual Plan online. Discounted rates for the first year of an annual subscription plan. It's not available to customers with pre-existing discounts. Must be redeemed by the 20th. Cannot be combined, exchanged, yada, yada, yada. And federal, state, and local governments are not eligible for this promotion. But it's Tech Week. Hey, John.
I just want to make a addition. It turns out for that audio program, that's the pro version. They do have a $90 version, which is the non-pro. I didn't want to throw shade on the guy saying he raised his price. No, there's 2 versions, pro and non-pro.
Thank you.
I sit corrected.
By the way, when we were talking about Zoom, about YouTube before, and Robert, about you had mentioned the overflow and how we can stream to YouTube. Sorry, this just came back to me, but I was thinking about how last week we were talking about the new tool that Zoom has rolled out for events, which is sort of the Zoom Video Manager, right? Where you can, a little bit like with playlists and all of that. I'm forgetting what it's called off the top of my head. And I wonder if there will be a time when Zoom will, not just for events, because for events, people don't have to be in the meeting or the webinar to watch what's happening because it can be streamed to the lobby. But I wonder if outside of events, they will eventually stop sending people to YouTube and just send them to a built-in stream-only sort of experience. I don't know.
You know, if
Tony
they
has
if
a
they
question.
produce a player that can be embedded,
Yeah.
that'll be something that'll be worthwhile looking at. But if it's not embedded, then it's no different from a hub.
Yeah. Yep. Tony, what's up?
So I have a question. I use SPX graphics with primarily with my house of worship, but I've been using the QR code component of it for Conversation with Tony Mobley in the background, and so it gets it brings the meeting down to 720 from 1080p. And
wait. Back up. What brings the meeting down to 720?
The SPX graphics QR code.
Oh,
I don't know
because
if you remember a while back I was using the QR code for Conversation with Tony Mobley in the corner.
Right, but what do you mean the graph? How are you adding that graphic?
I'm using SPX.
So SPX logs into the meeting. It joins the meeting, right?
No, it's already in the meeting. I just activate the app. If that makes sense.
It's an app. Okay.
It's a Zoom app.
Right. I'm just trying to understand how adding that overlay would bring your meeting quality down.
Unless it's only set up to do 720p as opposed to 1080p.
I mean the app.
The app itself.
I would say it might be even more that the meeting, the license is limiting down to 720, because if the way that SPX works is, and if I had John here, I swear he would say, Mike, it's a camera overlay. So basically what it is it's a layer on your video. So it shouldn't be a limitation of 720p, because it's just graphics that is going on top of your whatever your camera going into Zoom's workplace app is set at resolution wise. That should also be at the same resolution. I don't see where. Now, is this something that they have told you? The company has told you, Tony, that it's 720?
No, this is courtesy of Mickey Makature. So I was wondering if we could test it.
Yeah, absolutely. We should test it.
If
the reason I was asking, by the way, if hold on, before you bring it in though, let's get a baseline. Let me pull up if maybe a couple of us can pull up our
stats.
Yeah, stats. I just wanted to say though that the reason I was asking about if it was joining the meeting, and now that I'm remembering SPX graphics, that was a silly question, but is because if you join a meeting through a browser, which a lot of these tools do, that will bring the meeting down to 720 because browsers cannot support 1080p. All right. So what are people seeing? What are people getting? I have to go into speaker view. Mine is always like terrible. I don't get what's going on with my internet here on this.
Tony, I have you pinned right now and you're coming in at 1080 rock solid.
Yeah.
Likewise.
And I'm seeing 1080 right now too, Tony. So go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to add the app.
Just so everybody knows, on YouTube, for the YouTube audience, I've pinned Tony. So we've spotlighted Tony. So you will see Tony going forward on the YouTube feed.
I hope my statistics are just wrong because I'm not seeing 1080p. I mean, it looks
720
1080p.
now.
Yeah, switch down to 720.
Same here.
Yep,
720.
yep. Did the same thing here.
Did you just turn it on, Tony?
I turned it on, and for some
Wow.
reason it's not loading.
Well,
David
it's
Brady
trying to
said.
load.
David Brady says, don't confuse SPX graphics and SPX for Zoom. They're two different products.
Ah. So Tony, yes, please clarify which one you're using.
SPX graphics. It's a Zoom. It's in
So
the
you're
Zoom
not.
app
So you're
store.
not. Yeah. Okay. So this is the marketplace app.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me clear all of this stuff. And I'm going to just load the QR code.
Yeah, but it actually dropped as soon as you switched the app on, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's already 720?
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you switch the app on, it dropped to
Yes.
720. It's nothing to do with the QR code itself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I will close it, and you guys let me know if it goes back to 1080p. I'm gonna turn my camera off for a quick second.
Yeah. It was an interesting 720p too. It was a 1280 by 720.
Yes, that's correct. I have 1280 by 720.
Yeah, and it's still 1280 by 720.
Yeah. Is it off, Tony? Oh, we lost your audio now.
Lost my audio?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. It should not be running now. Am I still 720?
Yeah. But you were 1080 before you did anything.
No, you
it's
still
it's
it.
It's
Yeah,
still
you still
running.
have it up. Yeah.
Okay, so let me go actually back into the App Store.
I think you just do. You just quit the app? Like you just? Is that how you do it?
So I quit the app, but it's still showing.
It's not entirely clear to me how you quit an app. Close current app. There we go. I'm not sure that closing the window on the app actually closes the app. You may have
That's
to go
correct.
up to the three
Yeah,
dots.
the app usually
to
runs
close
in the
that.
background until you close it from the
Yeah.
X at the top.
Yeah.
Close that. All right, so now the app is actually closed. So I'm
Still
looking
720.
right-
Oh,
so I'm
1080 now.
1080 now.
That's it.
Okay.
Can I just say this is I'm so frustrated with this. Sorry, we're gonna go right back to you, Tony. But look at my I'm just stuck. My resolution. It's not even changing. What? Like, oh, now it just changed because someone.
I spotlit you.
I'm sending 720, but when someone else was spotlit, like let me go back and spotlight. I'm gonna spotlight you.
Okay.
I'm not receiving 1080. I'm receiving 360 still, or 640 by 360. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, interesting. I'm only there I go. I'm sending 1080 now.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, but
It looks-
David, do you have him on full screen?
Yeah, in two places. I actually think I am receiving 1080 because you look sharp as whatever. It's just not. I think there's something wrong with my settings box.
Yeah, but David, have you got a mic spotlighted on your
Yeah.
on all three screens?
Well, I have two. I have the two Zoom screens. Yes.
Yeah, but what equipment are you using to spotlight Mike?
In Zoom, I spotlit him.
Okay, and what is he being spotlit on? Which monitor?
I've got two monitors: the main monitor and the secondary monitor.
Not the one
is
that you're
my
looking at.
teleprompter, and one
Exactly. What is the resolution of your teleprompter?
is.
Is it the Elgato?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing that too, and I end up getting 1080p if I spotlight. Like right now, I'm on both for myself, and
Okay.
I'm sending 1080. I
Okay.
don't know what you guys are seeing. If you guys are seeing 1080, then I'm fine. So I don't think I'm any different than what David's got right now. But
I just think there's something.
again, the difference again, I don't want to say this, but again, I am running PC. David's running a Mac. I'm not saying it's either or. It's just it might be something client based.
So David, you said you're spotlighting it on the Elgato small screen monitor
Yeah.
teleprompter.
Yeah.
So I believe that is not a 1080 monitor.
It's not.
Correct.
So it wouldn't be pulling 1080 because it can't get it.
Right, but again, because of the fact that David is pulling it on his regular other computer monitor, it should still be coming in as 1080.
So now I just moved it to another monitor that is 1080, and it still hasn't. Those numbers still haven't moved. Now I'm going to move it to a third monitor that is most definitely, and the numbers still haven't moved. Yeah, no, there's something wrong with my settings pen. Like it's not reading it correctly. It's really weird. Sorry. We can now go back to
Back to Tony.
yeah, back to Tony. I'm just frustrated that I can't get proper readings. So in any case, Tony, so it looks like SPX is dragging you down.
Well, the good thing is that for the house of worship, that's okay. We're happy to have 720 in the house of worship, so that's great. But for conversation with Tony Mobley, it's preventing me from sharing the QR code that way. So what I'll have to do is we've had some minor conversations about trying to add the code to Memo Live. So maybe
Tony,
that's the route.
Tony,
Yes.
I've actually got a suggestion is that because you now know that you're running 720 to make all your graphics, I don't know how it works, but let's just say that you have a way that when you make your graphics that you can now choose 720. I would make sure that the graphic is made 720 because you could actually be making it in 1080 when you're saving it, and it will distort it so the QR code will not work. So it sounds like that the QR code itself resolution is not matching the 720's resolution.
Well,
that's why
can
it's
we
not
test
working.
that? Can I put the QR code up and see if people can actually go to the website?
Sure. As David's doing the speed test at his location, sure, why not?
Well, I want to make sure that like there's nothing wrong with my internet. Like this is ridiculous. Because now Roland is saying that I haven't been. I mean, look at that. I'm getting over 300, 900 down and 300 up. 350
David,
up.
can I just educate you a little bit? Do you know how these speed tests work?
No.
But
I know that when the number is really nice and big, that everything's supposed to work. That's what I know.
Okay.
Am I wrong about that? What? Go ahead, Tony. Put your QR code up.
Bigger's better.
No one cares about my stupid internet thing.
And the one thing I think I'd have to ask is, I think in most cases, regardless of what size your actual created image is, when you put it into something like SPX or vMix or Mimo or Ecamm, it'll scale it. And a QR code has built-in features so that if something happens and a couple of pixels don't get transmitted properly or whatever, they're sort of self-healing. You can adjust that self-healing factor. And so the fact that you take a QR code that was 1080 to start with and scrunch it down to 144 or whatever it ends up on the screen, they should still work as long as it's not so packed so densely that it can't make the difference between the pixels.
Ray, that's why people can take a picture with their phone of a small screen and it still works. Picture of the QR code.
Yeah.
Tony left us.
No.
Tony's on video anyways.
I'm not sure what's going on. It's not letting me, it's not loading.
Okay, there was actually another question that actually, hello, Giles, long time no see, buddy. We'll talk soon. But Giles is actually mentioning, is there a possibility that there are settings within the actual workplace app that Tony may be not seeing that is telling it to go down to 720?
Okay, let's try this again.
I haven't seen settings like that. But
Well, I'm guessing that whatever it is on the back end of a workplace app that says I'm going to generate graphics can kind of pick whatever resolution it wants. And if it's designed for 720, pick whatever resolution.
Oh,
No, it's
Ray,
not
we
gonna
lost you
let
there.
me.
Oh,
It's not.
I'm still
It's
here.
not letting
Yeah.
me. It's not letting me open it again for whatever reason.
Yeah, again, Ray, you just triggered something when you said that to me. It sounds like it's them because again, depending on how, and again, I wish John was here because the developer mind would come into play. But basically, from my understanding, on a very lower level, it is based on the way that the overlay actually is being brought in by Tony. And if the app developer only went maximum 720 for the graphics within the actual developer app, then that could be the possible limitation of that, which I guess is okay, but that's taken into consideration that everybody's only using 720 and there was no 1080p.
Well, and this goes
option at
back
all.
to something. This goes back to something that Andy and Jonathan and those guys have told us multiple times, and I tend to forget them until we start talking like this. And that is, Zoom will send a small format video and either 720 or 1080, but not both to the same person. So to me, that explains David's issue where he's got one device asking for 720 and the others are asking for 1080, but they're not actually getting 1080. They're getting 720 and they upscale rather than forcing the 720 guy to downscale. And so, sort of the same thing inside Zoom when you're running an app. Zoom wants to send 1080 to everybody that's requested 1080, but if something on your side says, no, we're going to use 720, Zoom goes, okay, 720 it is, and that's what we'll send out.
Yeah. Interesting.
I have several error messages, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave and try to come right back. Maybe that
Okay,
will.
Tony. Cool.
We'll be here.
We'll be here. Aaron, come on in. You have a quick question before Tony comes back?
Oh.
No? Go ahead. Or not. Just say hi.
She has a question. She's just not sure if it's going to be quick.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
okay.
Thank you, Ray. Is there anybody here who is familiar with running a webinar, a hybrid webinar, and using CRC, conference room connector, as an add-on to configure for the live location to configure with Zoom? Does that make sense to anybody?
So
Robert,
we're
you said you did a lot
talking.
of-
Yeah, is it a Zoom Rooms integration?
No, it's just a Zoom meeting. It's a regular Zoom meeting on a pro account, and I hosted a webinar. This was my client's account, and so we had to buy CRC, conference room connector, so that the live location could send a feed out to Zoom. Does this make any sense? Because I don't like if it's yes.
That's all correct.
Well,
That's the way it works.
Is Tony back? No. Okay.
No.
Yeah, Tony's coming back. It's okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
So, Robert, if this makes sense to you, I was asked for, I gave the meeting ID and the host key, and they set it up. The only problem was that when that was in our practice run, and when we went live for the actual webinar, we were in the green room, and they could not get everything configured unless I started the webinar. So we couldn't be in the green room because they needed the meeting ID to configure things properly. And I thought, that can't be right. I must have done something wrong. Does this make any sense? So I basically had to open the webinar while we were doing our, half-hour tech check and running through everything.
Okay. I have not come across this problem. However, I will say that I've been limited to using Zoom in a conference environment with Cisco equipment only.
And that's
So
what it was. Okay,
it was
yeah.
Cisco.
It was, yeah. Okay, thank you.
I can't help you. I don't know why that happened. I haven't seen it.
Thank you.
But I would walk through it slowly once again, step by step. There's something wrong with the config, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Let me ask Robert and Arm, what does CRC give you that throwing a camera image into a Zoom client not give you? What do you get with CRC that just making
I
an
have no
ingest,
idea.
either RTMP or otherwise?
Logistically and technically, I don't know, Ray. All I know is that their tech team said you need to go and purchase this, and we did, and provided them the information to configure everything properly. But yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Think of it, Ray, as an app that will run on the Cisco operating system in that conference room. No other app will run on it for security reasons. They don't allow it. So this is an app
it's a specialized version of Zoom Rooms for Cisco, sort of.
For Cisco and for several other platforms, but it's been approved by them. So
cool, good, thanks.
And just as and the reason I know it is because we tried to use the interpretation on a Cisco conferencing system, and we put that in, and it didn't work.
So it's not looking good, Erm. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing a little bit. Is what I'm hearing.
It's over. It ran, so it was fine. It was only one person came in through our tech check, so we were good. But I was convinced this cannot be. It didn't happen in the proper way, because there's no way you can't have your green room. Like, you have to open a webinar in order for that to happen. That would make no sense to me at all. But I'm not a tech genius like the rest of you, so.
I'm trying. Was it a webinar or Webinar Plus? Just for our sake.
Just a webinar, plain old.
Just
webinar.
a regular webinar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So officially, again, again, Backstage is not in regular webinar, so you would not have a green room anyways. So that's automatic.
There's a Backstage in regular webinar.
Yeah, I think what is referring to as the Backstage is the they call it the test session before you go. Yeah. So it's like a Backstage.
Yeah.
The practice session.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's a proper term.
All the tech guys needed to have been done were to be made the panelists. You didn't have to open the webinar, because you can do everything in the practice room as if it's a real webinar, except only the attendees when you see anything.
Yes, thank you, Roland. The only thing is that with a panelist, just send a panelist an invitation, right? And they get their unique code. But I couldn't figure out in Zoom where to give those digits, that information to their tech team. I could have a meeting.
So all they would have to do is join. They could join as an attendee, and then you promote them to a panelist.
No, because you have to start the webinar if you want to do that. You can't do it that way.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Robert.
I'll tell you what the trick is.
You can add them via the email, though, and then you can get the link from the email.
Exactly. They need to pick up. The thing is, the Zoom, when it invites the panelists, sends out a link.
Yes.
Now the passcode is actually further down in that email. If you scroll down, you will see the passcode there. I've had this problem before, and I got stuck on it. And you can actually read the meeting code from that link. It's embedded in there.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. That's perfect.
As a matter of fact, there's a way to export that list too, and it will give you a spreadsheet with all those links by panelist name.
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you both. That solves it. I knew it was somewhere. I just didn't know where to find it. Thank you very much.
And definitely on the events platform, you definitely have that as well, that capability, where you could dump the actual CSV out of all the user and their individual links to.
All right.
Back to you, Mr. Paskin. Why did you have to
No.
reboot? Tell us. Tell us.
Aha. Okay. No, still not.
Oh, still not.
Well, no, wait. So in the YouTube chat, they were telling me to clear my Zoom cache. So in order to do that, I had to shut down Zoom. I had to go into my Finder and I dumped everything. So now it is showing that I'm sending 720. I should be sending 1080. But I also just noticed in my app, in my settings, HD video is not turned on. Under, you go into your settings and then under video, for some reason, and this happens once, when you, sometimes when you update the app, I found this all the time that it doesn't turn the things back on. So my HD video was turned off. So I turned that back on again.
Did you actually clear your cache, David? Were you able to do that? Okay, so
Yeah, no, I
sometimes
did.
clearing the cache will reset some of those things.
Correct. So now I'm at 720. I really should be at 1080, and I'm not entirely sure why I'm not. But I'm gonna go.
Oh, David, did you just do it on after you joined or before?
Did I just do what?
Go to HD video before or after?
No, after I joined.
It may not.
All right,
Kick you
I'm
up to
gonna
1080.
leave again and come back.
Okay.
But I also want to just see.
Is
Do you
is
still
that a
need-
meeting parameter or is that something on your desktop?
No. It's a meeting parameter. It's in Zoom settings.
So this yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'll take 720. That's not terrible. But
You
is
look
there?
marvelous, David.
What did you say?
You look marvelous, David.
Thanks. I wonder if is there still a setting they have to toggle on the back end for HD? Does anyone know? I know there used to be. I don't see anything when I'm searching for it.
I think there is. I think you still have to request it.
Well, right. I'm on a business
I think
account, so that
I
should
thought
be
they killed that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wonder if you still need to Q&A, breakout rooms. I'm just searching to see if there's a.
Well, David, when you
there it is.
again,
Yeah.
what is your default for your PIM would be the question.
Right. So sorry. So I just found, under in meeting advanced, there is this meeting HD video quality full. Sorry, I'll hit myself. Whatever. Oh, wait, now see, now it's mirrored. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. Don't mirror my video. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we see you fine.
No, I know you do, but it changed it from because I cleared my cache. So everything. Oh,
Right.
maybe that's why the HD video was off, because I cleared my cache. Sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't just off. It was off because when you clear your cache, it resets. I just deleted the entire Zoom folder. So it just reset everything. All right. So maybe now.
Yeah, everybody in YouTube wants you to breathe normally, Dave.
What? I can't see the comments. What are they saying about me?
No, they're just saying it's okay, Dave. It's okay. Breathe normally is what they're saying.
You know
You're
what?
good. We're all here for you. Even the YouTube audience, we're waiting for you.
Everyone leave me alone. I just want a high definition video. All right. Whatever. I don't really
Now, just to throw the caveat in there, we know you come in from Ecamm. So Ecamm is sending 1080p to Zoom?
No. So I'm not coming in through Ecamm. I'm coming in this is the one time when I join a meeting using vanilla Zoom. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually leave. You're still host, right? Okay. I'm going to leave this meeting from regular Zoom and I'm going to come back in through Ecamm for Zoom and let's see what happens. God, this is going to be so exciting. All right. Bye.
But and as David leaves us, will he break things even worse when he comes back? We will see. Stay tuned, YouTube. Oh, and here he comes already. Look out. Mr. Paskin's back in the house.
It just dawned on me that you might not let me back in. Thank you for
You're welcome.
letting me in. All right, let's see. So now we're going to, let me just pull up my statistics. And
David, just answer a question, please. If you said you're not coming in through Ecamm, how are you getting that layout?
So I'm using the virtual camera. So there's the old fangled way of bringing all this stuff into Zoom was through virtual cameras. Now everyone's just building Zoom into it. So that's the difference. So now I am coming directly into Zoom through Ecamm. I'm going to spotlight myself, and hopefully my resolution will jump up, but I just dropped.
It's actually
I know,
dropped at my
Roland,
end.
don't rub it in.
I'm seeing 360 right now.
Yeah, I know you are. This is so sad.
Now, again, I'll throw this back at Ecamm. Since you're logged in via Ecamm, is there an Ecamm setting for resolution?
But this. No, it should just be good to go. Very strange. Yeah. All right. Well, this is not the David is having issues show, so we can move it. Just no one look at my camera. It's just embarrassing.
Well, David, you're not going to do the nothing to see here. Is that what you do?
That's just embarrassing.
I always do it the old-fashioned way, Dave. I just use the ATEM to put me in a circle.
Yeah, well, you're a show off.
And Mr. Bradley from YouTube would like you to know, I'll freak David out. His audio is out of sync. Okay.
All right, I'm leaving the meeting.
David, I've
As
taken
he
my
leaves,
glasses off. You look
as he
perfect.
leaves, and he jumps and he comes quickly back in as co-host too. Look at that. That was a very quick little jip. Back to you, Dave.
God, no, not back to me. There's no back to me. Now my buttons aren't working. Falling apart. Ooh, I just got to stay centered with audio framing. Oh, you know why? Because it's giving me all the pop-ups. No, thank you. Maybe later. I won't do that now.
Yes, David. Are you officially on auto framing right now, by the way?
No.
Settings?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I turned it off. All right, last test. Ready? Let's just see. Oh, I can't. Wait, can I? Why can't I? Why can't I spotlight? Oh, I know why.
Oh, I was going to say I gave you co-host.
No, it's not that. It's because of stupid button and name, David Paskin. You know, when I'm not in, God, now I'm typing in Hebrew. When I'm not in this meeting, everything works.
All right, I'm going to spotlight you. Here we go. There he is.
Wait, but now, hold on. I'm typing
we're holding on. Tony's back too. Good, Tony. Good to see you,
thank
Tony.
God, Tony. All right. I'm sending 720 again. Wow.
You are correct.
I don't know what's going on. Okay.
I don't have good news. So I'm getting an error. I've actually left several times, restarted the computer, and I don't have access to the app at all. It says something went wrong. I do refresh, and the same thing comes up. So I'm going to reach out to the developer and see what he says about it. But I am curious. Am I 1080p right now?
That's what I'm seeing. 1080. It was. It just dropped down to 900 for some reason.
Okay.
1080 now.
There we go. 1080.
Well, We'll see what's going on. Thank you for entertaining the question.
Everything's broken today.
YouTube was almost broken today for David.
No, I said everything is broken today. And yes, YouTube was almost broken today.
That's right. I'm just reminding you that, it was multiple. Hasmuk, come save the day, Hasmuk.
As they say, now for something different. We spoke about reports a few weeks ago, post-meeting participants report. Somebody mentioned use Zapier, and Zapier can give you a more extended report and many more data sets. And I've been kind of toying with Zapier, the Zapier site, and I registered for a free account. Conceptually, I'm just struggling to figure out how this works. I'm not sure if anybody in the community has used Zapier and Zoom to extract reports. And just send me your coffee jar address, and I'm very happy to contribute to have a session on Zapier and and Zoom, because I'd like to give more reports to my post my medical events, and so that's what I'm looking for.
So John Drinkwater would point you towards Pabbly, which is like Zapier. The difference to me, because I've looked at this recently while I'm trying to do some interface work for my nursing conference, is Zapier charges you or deducts every time it does a thing. So if you have a thing where Zapier gets something from a service, stores it in a file, sends it out to something, and does something else with it, they deduct 4, where Pabbly can do an entire chain of things and only really deducts 1 and tends to be a little cheaper. And so reports, which would have to go get each record and do something with it, would tend to use up your Zapier quota a lot quicker. So think about Pabbly. It kind of does the same thing. They have maybe a quarter of the interfaces that Zapier has last I checked, but I think they have all of the Zoom APIs. What they're missing are the Zoom Events APIs.
Can you put in chat the what you're referring to, Ray?
And Hasmuk, if you want to just reach out to me on Discord and we can sit down and look at Zapier, because I'm a heavy Zapier user for Zoom and for...
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And the difference I found between Zapier and Pabbly is that Zapier is slightly more expensive, but otherwise, functionality-wise, it looks very similar in the concept in the area of Zoom.
Thank you.
That's a good question. So my CPU usage, according to Zoom, is at 80%. But I only have 2 things running.
David, do you have your NDI stuff running? Because that will consume a lot if it's not configured properly.
I mean, only receiving NDI, not sending it. And that's just built into Ecamm. It's not like...
Yeah, but you need to switch the NDI monitor on and see what is going backwards and forwards, because if you've switched it on once and you've enabled it, then you don't know if it's running in the background on anything else.
NDI video monitor. Okay. And what do I want to look at?
It should come out with like what's it called? Like a multi-view, and you'll see all of the video feeds that are there.
Yeah, you should have a list, David, in there.
No, yeah, not on a Mac. On a Mac, you get no, that doesn't.
Mac, I think you're looking at the wrong one. It should be the. Let me just get the right name for you. It's not the, because you're just on the video. What you've selected is you can select which NDI feed you want to look at.
No, I understand.
From a list.
Yeah, that's
there's a monitor there to
yeah, no, for on Mac it's called NDI video monitor. And yes, we can choose what For some reason, it's not finding. Oh, no, you know why? Zoom for Tiles Tiles for Zoom just quit actually for the second time during this meeting.
And also Ronnie from YouTube is telling us, David, that CPU is killing your resolution basic functionality of Zoom.
Yeah.
So automatically it's going to not send out as much of a resolution if there's background processes that are
Right.
utilizing a lot.
Understood.
of
What I
the
guess I don't
CPU.
understand is right. What I guess I don't understand is I don't have any background processes running.
So you're looking at the activity manager under Mac?
So I've got both of them. I've got the activity monitor on Mac up, and I've got the Zoom settings up. The one on Zoom settings.
David,
So-
can you show us or no?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Again, YouTube audience is watching too, so they'll help us out a little bit for you.
Yeah, bear with me for a second.
Yeah.
All right. So
I got
let's
you.
take a look. So this is, I mean, it's very small, but is there a way to blow this up? No. So Ecamm Live is using 1.87, which is not abnormal. Windows Server is a gig. Zoom is 800 megs. Zoom Workspace Atom host, I'm not sure what that is, 515. And then everything down from there. I have nothing else plugged in, that's working on the back end here, which is really what's strange to me. Percentage. There's a kernel task. I don't know what that is. And UVC assistant. Those are the two big ones.
UVC is the technology for USB, so that I could tell you is that.
What's kernel task? Is there a way to know what that is?
That's the core of the operating system.
Oh.
Yeah, on the right hand side, David, you'll see that it's running as root user. I won't get into Linux, but that's God on your Mac.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, everything looks like it's doing what it should be doing. I mean, my memory pressure is really low. Physical memory, 32 gigs. I'm using just over half of that. And yet in Zoom, it looks like I'm using 73%, 80%. Why would there be a mismatch between Zoom and my system? Anyone have any thoughts?
Between Zoom and your system.
Right. So
and again, in the Windows world, and I'll speak for the Windows world, is that Zoom is pulling that data from Task Manager on Windows. And I'm actually going to check and see if mine line up.
So you're right. So my CPU load is actually, no, sorry, they're not inconsistent. So my CPU load, I was comparing CPU to memory. CPU load looks about right. The system is using 40%. The user is using 30%. And then we've got about, 20 to 30% available. All right. Well, we don't have to sit here and stare at my ridiculous. I mean, you can't read it anyway because my, resolution is so poor. I don't know why we're even doing that.
You were doing it on purpose so we can't read it for privacy reasons.
That's what I was doing. It just dawned on me that no one could see anything on my screen. Oh, well.
Oh, no, we could still read it, David. It's not horrible that your resolution was worse. I could read it. That's why I was able to tell that in very fine print that I saw root on the very right-hand side when you're showing the monitor. So I could read it. It was out of focus, yes, but I could still read it.
Yeah, but I'm paying a lot of money to be in focus.
That's true. And Victor just made a perfect comment too. He says 80% CPU usage is high.
Yeah.
Yes, it is very high.
So this is a M1 Max Studio.
Something's running, something's forcing the main system to be doing stuff, would be my official unspecifically technical comment.
And what's interesting is that before we even started, I ran a clean my Mac and I shut the whole thing down and restarted it. So I'd have a clean experience.
I'm going
Maybe I
to
need
mention
to-
that that's always good to be on everybody's checklist. And I'm saying that for the YouTube audience.
I mean, maybe is this an opportunity for me to kind of wipe my system, you think? And do a clean install?
Yeah, but can you afford to do that? Is there nothing on that Mac that is not?
I only
recoverable?
use this Mac for Ecamm and Zoom. It's
And it's a
literally
Mac Studio for Ecamm and Zoom.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is very. No wonder your 1080p costs you so much money. I can tell you that I am running on just a straight M2 out of the box, the cheapest version that I can get. I'm running at 23% CPU usage.
Okay.
And this
I
only
need
has 8 gigabits of
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's
memory.
clearly something corrupted. So how do I? Okay. So the way to deal with this is to erase my machine, right? Is that the way to do it?
No, I would start an easier way. I would go into your app manager and just look at what you're loading on startup, because you're probably loading a whole load of stuff that you're not really aware of. It's
Okay.
going into background and just eating away at all of the resources that you have.
Yeah. And this is something that people on Windows, we have to be careful of all the time.
Yes.
Because again, there's a whole bunch of stuff that will boot up on, it's the infamous start on boot terminology in Windows, and again, on Mac, obviously there's similar things too, because again, in the Linux world, I'll take it to the Linux world, which I think Mac has got a bit of the same environment in that regards, is that once you log in as a user, and again, in Windows too, once you log in as a user, then all these applications that are based on your profile or your user account will start running. And then all of a sudden that will spike up your machine to probably 100% as everything loads, and then it'll settle itself down. But again, if your user profile, David, what you might want to do is I don't know, again, you're going to have to educate me if you can do this or not. Can you actually can you have multiple users on a Mac? I have this feeling it is a yes.
Yeah.
And if so, I would actually just start with a brand new user account and go from there, instead of actually reinstalling the whole operating system.
Yeah.
Because it could be that your profile has not got too many background items that are classified as system items now. And it's going to be running.
Kind of takes me back to this question, David. Have you always only used this just for Zoom and Ecamm, or have you ever used it for other purposes? That's where all of these other add-in things would sort of still be lying around.
No, really just for this, to be honest with you.
And David, just a quick question. Do you have any free space on your storage, your permanent storage devices in that computer?
Like on my computer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I should have. Let me see. More info. I have, where the heck is it? Give me a second here. About. General about. Why is it not showing me what I have? Here we go. 313 gigabytes available. I mean, I've got plenty of space available.
I think you need to do just go through and look what's loading in the background.
Right. The problem is I don't know what, you know, it's hard to know what you can delete and what you can't delete. That's part of the problem.
I think Mike's suggestion is a good one. Is just create a new account and then see what performance you get out of it.
Right. And David, it would be not necessarily, and again, you're going to have to help me with the Apple world, but it wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't affect any of your Apple accounts, because you could log into as a new user and then reassociate all your Apple accounts to that new user.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not a terrible idea though. Every once in a while, to give your Mac a nice cleaning anyway, is it? To like
It's not a
wipe
bad
it.
idea, but it's pretty drastic and time consuming. So you need to plan that out. I would really go in under settings, go to general, and
Yeah.
go into login items.
Yeah, that's where I am.
And anything, I just remove everything from there. Just switch everything off, and then
Well,
once you
I've only got
reboot,
so open at login. I've got three things: Alfred, which okay, I guess I don't really have to have that, but I like it. Display link, which I have to, and Elgato, which I think I have to.
I just switch them all off and restart the machine and see if it's running at high capacity, and then you can switch them back on and see if what is really affecting the system.
Okay.
Because
So I just
Now, yeah, just for my sake, being a non-Apple person, I know Windows sometimes has a section where you have your startups and they also have hidden startups. Is there such a thing on a Mac?
yeah, but the hidden are the system ones. You won't be able to do anything with those. And here you've got allow in the background or extensions that are
so
running.
app background activity. So this I should turn off also, yes?
Just turn everything off for a while,
everything
and
in
then
here?
you'll see if that doesn't drop the usage down in
Right.
a radical way, then
Yeah.
you'll probably have to do a rebuild.
Okay. All right, I'm turning everything off. I don't even
If
know
it
how this-
just I know I don't want to be cruel to you, but you can't do a rebuild while you're live on this.
Oh, sure I can. Watch me.
He
Ye of
clearly was
little
taking
faith.
lessons from Leo Laporte from years ago.
What, did he used to do this?
He did it on Windows Weekly. Actually, he actually hit update and just dropped off the air for an hour.
All right. So now, sorry. So I just turned everything off. Now, do you think I need to reboot in order to actually see this, or?
Absolutely, because this is what's loaded in the background when you
Yeah.
switch on, when you log into the computer.
All right.
When you log on the computer.
I'll be right back.
And do a hard restart, not just a restart, but
Yeah.
just switch it off
Shut
completely
down.
and switch it off.
Let it rest. Give it a coffee. All right. Bye.
No, you rest, David.
Oh, me?
Yes.
And he disappeared. All right.
Quick
Hasba,
question on
continue,
that?
please.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
No,
Yeah, no,
because
go ahead.
Thank you. It's good to do, and I was doing, as he was prompted to, and checking out my stuff as well. So, are you suggesting that you allow nothing to run in the background at all? Like I have Ecamm running in the background, Google Updater, and that's it. And
No, absolutely not suggesting that. I was
Oh.
suggesting it for David so that he could figure out what is affecting his system, just to remove it and then switch everything back on. But if you don't have a high usage, then keep what you use on a regular basis starting and running in the background. I mean, if you've switched on Zoom updates, for example, that'll appear there. Yeah. So those sort of things, but they don't use up a lot of processor power because they'll just check every now and then, just ping.
Got you.
Nothing else. But so David's evidently having, but just I don't want to be to talk about badly about David, but I know he's very spontaneous about updating and downloading stuff. So he's probably got a load of stuff that he doesn't really need there. That was my suggestion.
I would also say, if short of doing a complete rebuild from scratch, go into disk utilities and into the recovery utilities themselves to reinstall the operating system first, because that won't overlay your user data.
Right. It very well could be that there was some sort of, and again, I'm going to talk Windows ease when I say this, some sort of patch that Mac sent out that maybe is affecting his machine in a negative way.
Some
strange. You know what? I find that it's not so much that Mac sends out, but if you install an app that goes in and changes some of the drivers on the Mac to non-original, that's when the problem starts coming. And our favorite Mac app that we don't want to talk about, Pete, that does that, and I've experienced
Yes,
it.
I've discovered that.
They're being so secretive on the Zoom Test Kitchen. It might be a competitor.
Yeah, Pete and I have been talking about OBS and the benefits of OBS. OBS is an app that professional people don't want to admit to using, but everyone uses it because it's in their toolkit.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing, there's nothing wrong with OBS. There's absolutely not. As an example, over the last few weeks, vMix is actually now given ONT, I believe is the terminology, OMT technology. They've actually made a plugin now for OBS. So they're not only, even though vMix made the OMT protocol, they've also now, it's open source, and they've also made an OBS add-on. So you could actually bring in OMT instead of using ST, instead of using 2110 or NDI. So yes, it is an NDI replacement.
Interesting, because I've been playing with the what's it called, the multi-view, NDI multi-view, that gosh, I forgot his name now, from Tucson.
Our good Canadian guy?
Yeah, that's a Canadian guy.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm playing with that is because it's that multi-view is also an NDI switcher. And once you start using an NDI switcher, you actually need something to pull it into something else to do any of the mixing that you want to do, overlays, etc. And OBS is ideal because OBS accepts NDI, and it's stable. So Peter was asking, what am I planning on replacing it? It looks as if at the moment I'm testing the multi-view NDI from, I think the name of the company is Tractus, and using, are you flying away? You're going.
Yeah.
Right. And using OBS to pull that in and mix whatever overlays I want, and then throw that out.
Yeah, I'm not quite that far along, obviously, Robert, but what I've been able to do is successfully redo my scenes from the commercial provider that we've used in the past to reconstruct it in an OBS model. So, I mean, not that you probably would care less, but that's done with OBS. Used to be done with Mimo, and then I can switch between it, and
Well, there's a major reason that the OBS community, that the gaming community and all the gaming live streaming are using OBS.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's I look at it differently, Mike, because there's such a large gaming community that uses OBS. Any problems that occur are addressed really quickly. That community is so sensitive and so reactive to issues that come up.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I know that there's So, Robert, you're going to laugh. I'm feeding those images into OBS via NDI, and oddly enough, NDI is on the same machine as OBS. I mean, as OBS and Zoom ISO are on the same machine, because the siphon module in the current release of OBS doesn't work. But they know it. They know, and I could see them tracking the fix through as, and it will show up in the next point release, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a reason to do that, is because Siphon doesn't carry the audio signal.
Yes, that's true. And we were talking about how busy his machine is now, granted, I'm running on an M4 Mini Pro, or M4 Pro on a Mac Mini. And I think I'm using less than, with 4 streams running through a test system right now, running less than 10% busy.
Yeah, but that's because the Pro has the chipset to do all
I'm
of the
not
encoding.
debating that. I'm just simply saying. It's not being taxed at all. I will probably never have to worry about Zoom saying, I need to throttle your account. Because I remember when Andy talked about that when we first were doing Zoom ISO, he says, if you're going to try, you might be able to get more than 4 out of it, but that's going to take an M1. This is back in the M1 days. That's going to take it really close to 80%, and it probably just will throttle you down.
But having said that, I can tell you that I run Zoom ISO on a dedicated M1 with 8 gig of memory and nothing else, with a 1 gig Ethernet port. And I pull out 12 1080p streams out of that, no problem.
I think it's gotten better over time, to be quite honest with you. This is the original version 1 of Zoom ISO.
Okay.
Remember that one? One where you had to have funky DisplayPort cards to make it work?
Yep.
This thing, which I don't use anymore.
David is back. Oh, hi, just give me one.
He
moment.
was back. Now we just see his smiling icon or character.
Yes, and Victor in YouTube is actually asking us. He says, "Is there a Zoom SAR team, search and rescue team, to find David?" Victor, we're finding that out. We'll let you know. He is here. He's hiding, but he's here. All right. In the meantime, as David and Tony have been disconnecting and connecting, testing, if anybody on YouTube has any questions for the panelists, by all means, let us know in YouTube chat. As you see, I've been bringing in comments throughout the show. So let me know in chat and I will relay to the group. David, did we scare you? Come back to us, David. It is good. It is good.
David is now in 1080p on my.
Kenny D.
Yeah.
Even on a freeze frame.
Yeah, but that means it's a graphic that he's supplying.
Right, but that should be coming from Ecamm though. Still.
Yeah, but that means there's an issue with his camera and not with Ecamm and his computer.
Interesting. So it could be the camera resolution going into Ecamm.
Or probably the USB cable from the camera to the.
Right. Again, depending on his workflow, if he's using a capture card or not, or he's using, got it.
But
so it actually could be.
If you can hear me, David, you're coming in at 1080p now. It's because you're smiling in this image. You're not smiling anymore. It hasn't dropped. It's still good.
David, you did it.
Am I really coming in at 1080p?
Yes, as far as I can see, yes.
I'm checking right now.
I mean, I actually think I am going to nuke the machine anyway, just to get a nice clean start. But I mean, I turned a bunch of stuff off. I don't know.
But you're coming in at 1080p. Has your processor usage gone down?
Not really. I mean, I've got 32% idle now. No, it really hasn't.
32% means you're down to 70 from 80, so it's going the right direction.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but you're definitely 1080p 30, sir.
Interesting. Okay. Oh well, I have no idea what the heck it was that I mean, I'm gonna keep cleaning this thing up, but I have no idea what it was that was doing that. Really interesting.
But David, I'll say that I'm not a very long-term Mac user, so maybe I'm wrong in suggesting to you not to go down the rebuild route. Maybe that is the right route. I don't know.
All right. Well, I made the suggestion earlier while you were off finding yourself. There is a step in between a hardcore rebuild, David, and which is you can go into, if you boot it into Recovery Manager, one of the options it will give you is to reinstall the OS first, and that will give you a clean thing, but it won't lose your any data you might have on that machine. Now, if you don't have any data on that machine,
I mean, I really don't. Everything I have is in the cloud or in so that's why I'm not all that worried about it.
David, there's data is one thing, but also licenses for apps that you have on that computer.
Yeah. I'm wondering, it might be actually interesting. So this is the Mac Studio that I'm using, and I've got a new M4 Mini next to me. And I wonder if I should swap the two. Now, see, the Studio has double the gigabytes of memory. No, it doesn't make any sense to swap them.
David, how much memory do you need if all you're doing is running a show?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah, but look at your usage at the moment. What is it?
So right now, system is using about 40, and the user is using about 27.
27 what? Gigs? No.
Yes, 27%
memory.
percent of my CPU.
No, how much memory is being used?
Memory? No, my memory's fine.
Well, so that's not the issue. That's not the bottleneck.
I know, it's my CPU.
Go for it, David.
God, I wish I understood this stuff.
When you're driving your car, do you have a stick shift or do you have an automatic?
I used to have a stick shift. I loved my stick shift.
Okay, imagine you're in a stick shift and you're trying to do 100 kilometers or miles per hour in first gear. That's your situation. You just need to change gear and figure out how to do it. That's all.
Yeah.
Without stripping the gears.
Right, that's the key. All right, well, keep going. I eventually will drop off, but I have some cleanup to do.
David Mobley has his hand up. Maybe we need to.
Yes, David or Tony. Yes, Tony, go right ahead. As I have a quick conversation with somebody that I don't know that is in the waiting room.
That's me in the waiting room. Can you bring that machine in?
That is you? All right. Yes, I can.
So just an update. I have tried to use SPX graphics on 2 different machines. It is not working on either of the machines. So I'm not sure what's happening. I have reached out to the developer, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to actually end the meeting on this machine, and I need to come in on the other machine. Thanks. Thank you. And you know what? I might be in the rundown waiting room. I think I'm in the rundown waiting room. So let me close this out. Apologies.
Here's a question for you. Is the rundown waiting room the same waiting room as the Zoom Test Kitchen one, David? No.
No,
Okay, so
no.
No.
okay, all right.
But I am in David Paskin's personal meeting room.
Yes, you are.
All right, let me leave this meeting. Okay. Well, that's a good reason why I couldn't get in.
Sorry, Tony, I would check one more thing. Can you just look at your CPU usage when you finally get SPX graphics running? Because maybe you're hitting the same problem that David's having. When you load SPX graphics, your processor usage is going up, and so that's dropping your zoom resolution.
I think that I don't know for sure, but I think that Mickey might have said something about that a while ago. Because I was trying to use the SPX. Like I said, I use it all the time for the church, but we're only trying to get 720 on a good day. So it's only when I do conversation with Tony Mobley, but he is absolutely against me using it at all. And so, but I was just curious if it was just if it was the app itself that was bringing the meeting down.
You need to put the QR code up. Just make a graphic and put it into Zoom itself. You know what I'm referring to?
Yes.
So if you set up the graphic and have it a clear background and put the QR code in the place you want it on the screen, and then install it as a video filter, and that'll just overlay it onto your video, your camera feed, and it won't affect your resolution in any way.
That's what they do in office hours.
Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it. Are you with me on this one, Tony, or do I need to go through it with you? Tony's gone. No, he hasn't.
Yeah, Tony's got a few different versions. He's back.
Okay, so this is the wrong. I came in wrong login on this machine as well. So let me.
See, the
And I just thought about something.
Gremlins are having a field day. I think I should leave now.
The other thing is that there may be user error because the SPX is associated with a particular email address. And the fact that it's showing the church information may be the reason that it's not working. And I didn't check what user was on the other machine as well, because I have it working on SPX on one account. So
Now, Tony, do keep in mind that the 720 limitation is within the meeting, right? It's not client based, right? So we've got to make sure that there's different. Take care, Pete. That there's different flavors of the when they say 720p or 1080p limitation, that is within either a meeting or Webinar Plus or event, right? When it comes to the workplace apps resolution, that is based on your gear locally. So if that meeting is only a 720p meeting, I can go from a 1080p feed of my gear into a 720p based meeting, and I'll only be coming in. It's not my limitation, it's the meeting limitation, is what I'm saying. So we've got to make sure that is clarified too, is it truly the actual app doing it to you, to your actual camera? Because that's what it feels like it's actually doing. But yet your camera doesn't look like it changes. So it's weird that it's forcing, it's as soon as you kick it in, that the 720 is coming across from Zoom. How is the chain work? And that is going to become the question now. Why is that 720 as soon as you activate the app kicking, or once you kick in the SFX app, why is it forcing that down to 720?
Okay. Well, one of the issues is that I definitely have signed out of the account. So I'm using the correct email address, though. I'm not sure how I got signed out. Let's see. Yeah, somehow I signed out of the account. That's what's showing. So I'll try to figure it out. I'm not going to take any more of you guys' time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
David Paskin, I've never seen you so focused. Are you okay?
That means maybe? Okay.
I don't know. Universal binaries.
Where are you seeing that?
So these are old. That's telling me that I can delete up to 2 gigabytes of universal binaries that are not being used.
Just delete them. You're the spontaneous kind of guy. If the system's telling you that you can delete them, I would go for it.
All right. Here we go. This is not going to be good. Well, you know what? Worst case scenario, I'll nuke the machine, right?
That's what you plan doing anyway.
That's what I plan on doing. Cleaning universal binaries. All right.
Your left ear has just dropped off.
My what?
Your left ear has just dropped off.
See how quickly that happened? That was so quick.
Oh my God, that was funny. I'm not sure that any of what I'm doing is actually helping, but the scan is already in progress. Oh.
You know what I would try, David? Because I've seen this on some of my Macs. I would delete eCam completely.
Yeah, and reinstall it.
And
I was thinking
reinstall
about
it.
that also, yeah.
Because eCam is definitely the program that's going to be putting a lot of extra stuff at the very low level in the operating system.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
100%.
And Robert has taught me too, David, while you're gone, that potentially could have overwritten some stuff that it shouldn't.
Yep.
In the operating system too, which could actually be the case here, where depending on the developer's version, as they develop the software, they could be using older, what we call in the Linux world, older link libraries, meaning that the actual programming languaging that they're using could actually be not as efficient, there's the word, as the latest versions of the libraries, and very well could be hurting your system.
Right.
Because it's telling it to use the older libraries, which are inefficient, but yet the operating system is smart enough that it knows that it should be using the newer ones.
And you know what I found when I had the issue, David, is that I actually had 3 versions of the app that I'd been using.
Yeah.
In different folders, and I had to delete all of them.
Right. Yeah, so I'm deleting So I just deleted Ecamm. Like I've got a bunch of waves stuff in here, but I don't know what any of it is.
Wave stuff had probably to do with the
No,
meters.
it's with it's with Wave Central, but like just a bunch of stuff that I don't know what to do with. All right.
Unless your license is on that machine, because your Wave Central has your license
Right.
credentials.
Okay. One more thing to uninstall. All right. So now all right, so now I'm going to do a nice clean restall. Restall. All right, I'm going to hop off and restart my machine and see what happens.
You'll be here waiting for you.
Right now, my CPU is really low, my CPU usage. Now
And
I've
it's
got 70% available.
And we
Because you
noticed too
switched
that you're
Ecamm on?
actually not zoomed out either, and you're more zoomed out now too.
Because when I'm zoomed, because that other view is through Ecamm. So now I'm just I don't have Ecamm open even.
Okay, so that's the
That tells
behavior
you.
that I was seeing
Yeah.
when I had the issue.
Yeah.
And it comes from, and I think it comes from the very fast rate of betas being available for the platform that is being developed in real time. And so we're real beta users for that as well.
All right. I'm going to restart, see what
And
happens.
reinstall it. Reinstall it.
See you soon.
All right. As David reboots, we will see
This has
what
become a
Mr.
very
Paskin will do.
tech service centered meeting today.
Yeah, Mr. Idelson's on camera. Mr. Idelson, save the day, sir. Please. No, he says, no, I can't help you guys. You guys are lost in the weeds. Yes, we are.
I'm stuck here. I made a mistake of using one of my Macs that I use for production and went to Tahoe.
Yeah, and your background is officially backwards now.
That's the least of my problems.
Oh, another one that's testing using the Zoom Test Kitchen. Attaboy. There we go. We're all tested today. This is good. We're breaking things today, gang. I'm telling you.
This might help there. At least I'm no longer in the background, other than my name is now backwards.
No, your name is proper to us, but your background is backwards.
Oh, it still is.
If I can say that your name looks okay, but your title doesn't.
That's true. It looks like you're a very poor professor.
I hate computers.
We all agree. And guaranteed if David was here, he'd be saying,
so
yes.
At least now I look the same and words are the right words. So
background is correct.
Okay.
Yet to be determined if your lower third will be good now. So that's the next.
I'm not even going to go there.
And John, if I can ask you,
yeah, go ahead.
Are those neons or LEDs? Because they really look good.
They're neons with neutral density filters on them.
Okay. They really look good.
They look good, but they're too distracting. I did this for another event, but I can, if I had any of my software working, I could, soft focus them a little bit, but
yeah, there's a lot happening in the background. That's for sure.
I know technically if I had my students, I'd tell them there's too much clutter because you don't want to distract from your main subject. But when you're an old man, you want to distract from your main subject to whatever you.
Yes. It didn't take long for John to start picking on himself, did it? You Zoom Test Kitchen community. There you go. Yes. Yes.
My problem is I really have things I should be doing, but I'm just so, excited to watch Dave jump back and forth.
I know the suspense is killing us. David, come back.
I feel a little bit like I have a kitten and a laser pointer,
Oh, yeah. Over here. Look over here. Look, it's over there. Look. Yeah, got it. Tony, you any better? Let's get an update from you.
Well, my apparently my accounts are all messed up, and I think that's the problem why I'm not able to get into.
Oh, and you froze on us too, Tony.
You're frozen, and you've got to loop back. Loop back.
Okay, it shouldn't be doubling now.
It's clean now.
Yeah, so apparently my accounts are all mixed up, and that's why I'm not able to access SPX. It says that it is I've signed out and I have to sign back in on the web app. But when I go to the web app, there is no place for me to access a sign-in. It's just showing information about the website. So I'm really not sure what I'm going to do at this point.
Let me get this right in my head, Tony. So you logged into the correct Zoom account that should be associated with the SPX graphics account, correct?
Well, not based on what it's showing, because it shouldn't be showing the House of Worship information. It should be showing just Tony Mobley.
Okay, so you need to log out of your Zoom workplace and log back in the right account.
So, yeah, it should be showing.
And Tony, Zoom is definitely upset the way you connected to us right now, because I know I'm seeing Tony in black. And also when you're talking, Tony, YouTube is not hearing you. It was staying on Robert's face. So it was actually not switching. So something interesting happened moments ago.
I'm going to leave and try to come back in correctly.
Cool.
All right. See you guys in a few.
You got it, Tony.
This is becoming the highlight of the day. Have you switched it off and on again?
Yeah, have you rebooted, everybody? Don't reboot right now, YouTube. You guys are fine. We're the ones that are having the no. And Robert and I seem to be okay.
John is showing us something,
but I don't want to. I'm knocking on wood right now, Robert, that we don't break before the end of the show.
Yep.
Everybody else has right now. So, but as Victor has mentioned, he says, well, isn't it test in the title for Zoom Test Kitchen? Victor, you're right. You're not wrong. This is exactly what we want to do. We want to break Zoom. We want to break our PCs. We want to break our Macs. And all of a sudden, John now ended up on a plane. We don't know how he got there so quickly, but he's there.
I'm out of there.
Because Starlink announced that they've actually officially signed an agreement with one of the local airlines in the States. So
yeah.
So that's where you're broadcasting
Space
from
Cadet.
today, is it, John?
Yeah. Space Cadet. Okay. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
Take care, John.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, as my buddy Giles from way back in the days when we were doing walls, he said to me, he says, yeah, standard tech support response. Have you tried turning it on and off?
When you get the question, how do you do that? You know they haven't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Is that the button on the front? Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Cool. So it's just Robert and I. Everybody else has disappeared. Why? Because they're all broken. And they're trying to fix themselves. We don't know why. We don't know why they broke, but they broke. And Mr. Baskin not coming back, it's even worse. All of a sudden, his other machines actually disappeared on us too, Robert. So I don't know if this is a good sign or not.
But you know, it is
Could it be
past
power outages now.
It is past David's hour, so I'm surprised he's been here for so long.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, absolutely. So we'll open it. Robert and Roland are still here. So if you have any questions for us YouTube, by all means, let us know in chat. And we will do our best to answer your questions. Temporarily otherwise engaged. Nice, Victor. I like that one. I like that one. Yeah. Temporarily otherwise engaged. Yes. Yeah. David is temporarily otherwise engaged elsewhere and took his other PCs with him, his other Macs with him. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sure David is watching everything on YouTube, so he'll jump up in a second or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's the infamous, we said David's name once. Let's say it again. And now we have to do the third time. Then all of a sudden, Andy will pop up. No, it's Dave. Okay. That's right. That's right. We got to figure out. Oh, and Mr. Roland has no questions for us this week. I don't know if that's good or bad, Roland. I'm just saying. There is the joke that you're not trying hard enough to break things so that you don't have anything to bring us back every week here in the Zoom test kitchen. Are you having enough to break things? Oh, yeah. Giles is bringing up another good classic one. Have you kicked the plug out? And again, for everybody in the UK, you know exactly what he's talking about. So, yeah, I totally agree on that one. They always used to say that they hadn't, but they always had. They just didn't want to go under the desk and plug it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the old, he was saying IBM Type 1 machines where they didn't actually have the buttons. You actually had to turn it off, actually had the power supply in the back. Giles, you're showing how old school you are. Terrible. Don't show your age like that. That's terrible. But yeah, that's cool. So Robert, give me an update. So doing good on OBS, loving OBS. Are you officially converted? Would be a question then.
No, I've been using OBS for a long time. I started off on OBS when I got into live productions, and so it's been a tool in my toolbox that's moved from the status of being the main streaming tool, because I mainly used it for streaming, to the backup once we started using vMix, and then I got into certain bottlenecks and moved across to Mimo Live. And the reason I moved to Mimo Live is because we were trying to, David is back. David, we can't believe you're with us this late in the day.
And your other machines disappeared, so we thought you ran away or you had a major power outage. We weren't sure. Victor's definitely been concerned. That's all I know on YouTube. He's been concerned.
No, I'm here. Okay.
Oh, and I heard myself talking, so that was interesting.
But I'm super. Why isn't this working now?
Uh-oh.
Okay. But I'm super curious now. So now I'm just coming to you through Ecamm. I'm super curious what my see. God, it still is showing like my CPU usage off the chart, but now I'm sending 1080 and I'm getting 1080. Finally.
There's still an issue with that Ecamm running and the usage going up, CPU usage going up.
Yeah. So David, give everybody an update. Did you uninstall, reinstall? I'll do the Windows terminology. Uninstall, reinstall Ecamm.
I deleted a whole bunch of garbage. I hope it was garbage. Uninstalled, reinstalled. Yeah. And I've slowly kind of been adding things back into the mix. So I'll see that's not working now. My oh, that should be working. My video pencil isn't working.
So how did it affect your other machines leaving the meeting? Is a
No,
question.
I just left the other machines. It had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Video, send local NDI for Ecamm.
So go ahead, Robert. Continue while David's still looking to see what he can do. So you're talking about OBS.
Yeah, and then I moved across to Meme Alive when I started experimenting with streaming in horizontal and vertical formats at the same time, but mixing it differently. So I had two documents open on the same machine and was switching simultaneously through certain functions that you can set up. And that was working out really well until I did the first live event. And then I decided that maybe that's not the right path to go down. And so I've jumped back to Zoom ISO and NDI. And that's why I'm looking at the multiviewer, the NDI multiviewer from Tractus, because that has a switch in it. And the only thing that is missing at the moment is because I have 4 Mac Minis that I run all of the Zoom production apps on, and of course my meters. And the idea was to have all of them set up on a second screen. But when I use a KVM, the switching time is so slow and you lose the mouse activity, which makes some of the apps go to sleep because they think that they're not active.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go down a different route, and I've connected all of them into the back of an ATEM Mini, so that I have a multi-viewer going out from the ATEM Mini. I see exactly what is coming out on the second screen of each one, and each machine thinks it has a second screen.
Right.
So that's one model that I've been working on. And the second model that I've been testing today is I have these are 4K monitor emulators. So you just stick them into the HDMI port, and the computer thinks that it's got a 4K screen connected to it.
Right.
And I've been throwing the video that I want to output onto these emulators, capturing them in OBS, and then putting them into a virtual cam back into Zoom to put them into a meeting.
Are you running into any sync issues or no?
Well, there's no audio over there.
Okay.
Because
you're not using it, so you're not in none of the feeds that you're bringing in will have audio associated with them then.
Well, Zoom OSC provides the audio feeds that I need, so they're in sync coming out of Zoom OSC. But I don't bring them back with audio because I'm using tiles, which is just visual, graphics, which are overlays. I have one machine which is just a presentation machine, so that has no
or
audio.
PowerPoint or slides or whatever.
Exactly, and I've got a player there, so for films that I output, and then the audio meters are on the same machine as the Zoom OSC because they don't take up much capacity. But these things are really nice. They're handy. But the only problem is I lose my cursor. And in production, it's not a very comfortable situation to be in when you lose your cursor. So I've gone back to the ATEM Mini, where at least I see all of the screens and I see where my cursor is if it's moved onto the multi-viewer screen, and I can move it back and do whatever needs to be done.
Right. And you then will know that the mouse is actually working too, depending on the one you're talking to when you switch on the KVM.
Correct.
Yeah. So, no, that's cool. That's a great working environment like that. It's a bit of old school tied in with new school.
That's good. But before I did all of that, I've tidied up the whole of the network in the studio. So I've got the 10 gig network physically connected to all of the production machines, and the 1 gig network to all of the office machines. And initially I was doing it over VLANs, but I've decided that I don't want to do that. I'm going straight to a physical hard connection where those two networks are completely separated from each other.
Okay. So you've totally isolated the networks via hardware as compared to virtual LANs.
Correct. And
It's not necessarily a bad thing, because again, it depends on the amount of backplane that you have on the networking gear, especially when it comes to NDI. If you're doing a lot of AV over IP, that it will utilize it. It will be very hard on network switches. So if you don't have the backplane capability on the network switch itself, especially if you're using multicast, because multicast is very CPU intensive for a network switch. So especially if you're using full NDI as compared to NDI HX, it will utilize quite a lot of the multicast brain, or the actual CPU brain of the switch, to do all the switching of the multicast traffic. That is just inherited of multicast in general. It's been like that since the 90s. So.
Yeah. But I haven't come across that problem. I've got a Netgear M4300. It has 256 gigabyte core in it. So it's like I only have 16 ports active on the whole of the NDI network. But I hear what you're saying, that even though you only have 16 ports, you can have multiple NDI streams running through that concurrently. I do appreciate that and understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, again, just like even in vMix, you could easily have multiple NDIs coming out of the PC. So
that was one of the problems I had running vMix, actually, because when I was running vMix, I was also trying to ISO record on vMix, and vMix was pulling independent streams for, even though it was recording the same thing that it was pulling in. That's just the way
it wasn't properly routing it down properly within itself to record.
And the network was surviving, but the PC was falling over. It just couldn't cope.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, yes. So again, so you can imagine if vMix wasn't keeping up with NDI, doing all of what it was doing and vMix's capabilities. So you can imagine how much a network switch takes the hit of AV over IP as well. And again, this is something that I wanted, 20-ish years ago when I was doing corporate video streaming with, lot less bandwidth technology back then. I wanted to use the internal multicast backbone. And they said, no way in hell, was the official answer from the networking guys, because they knew that it would actually put a drag on the network, even though back then we were barely 100 meg. So you can imagine you're now just upgraded yourself to 10 gig internally, where you're 1 gig coming out of each physical PC. So you got a 10 gig backbone. Back then we had, for that corporate network, we easily had a 10 gig backbone back then, but they were an ISP, so they didn't count. They had the technology between the machines to be able to do 10 gig. But again, even internally, they didn't even want to turn it on internally because of the amount, and this was Cisco gear back then too, because the actual brain of the switch would have been overloaded to handle all the different VLANs and such that they had running on the network as it was.
Yeah,
so
but I'm not sure what it is with vMix that causes the problem, because the network card there, it has two network cards in that machine. One is a 10 gig and the other is 2.5 gig. So because there's a 2.5 gig on the motherboard, and I put in a 10 gig additional. So I don't know what was the bottleneck over there. But
what people have done is they've actually been really cute, and I know Giles is listening, so Giles will start laughing as I say this. But basically, what you would put into your PC is a quad Ethernet card, and what you would do then is that quad Ethernet card would be all your NDI physical cameras would plug directly into that. So your PC now becomes its own switch in that regard. So now, instead of you actually having to worry about it being on a network switch, you're just running literally all the Ethernet cables back to the PC as if you were plugging in, as if it was like a capture card where you're doing an SDI or an HDMI capture card where you have a quad HDMI or SDI capture card. Now you would actually have 4 individual NDI ports, so you could actually have 4 NDI cameras going into your PC, and then you just tell vMix to go to that because it's internal, it's not over the network. And you would still have your motherboard Ethernet sending out if you need to send your RTMP out, because that's the one that's actually on the internet, where the other ones are not. That's how you got around the network issues, NDI causing grief, hopping over multiple switches, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, my workflow is different because I don't have physical cameras connected in the studio. It's everything. This is a Remy studio, so everything I do is pulled down from the outside. When we go on site to do anything, I take hardware switches. I don't play with computers, especially Windows computers on site.
Yeah, back in the day, I know I'll bring up one more time, and Giles is watching. I know we did vMix Call way back in the day, where we brought everybody in to do our 24-hour show, where we did it country to country to country, all the way across the world. We had some in Australia, we had some in UK. Giles was based in the UK. I was based in Canada. We had people based in the US, and we all took over individually, and Giles organized the whole thing. And it was all either vMix to vMix or vMix Call coming in from different locations around the world into a main vMix, and then we're just sending out to YouTube that day.
Wow.
Yeah, that was Giles. You're gonna have to remind me. Yeah, when we actually did that, what year that was? I don't remember what the actual year that was, but yeah, and yes, that's right. And we did use Zoom too back in those days too, because Giles and I were one of the lucky ones that this person called Eric came to visit our group one day, and he said, "Yeah, I've got this new company that I'm thinking of starting, and I've got this beta version of, this funky new version after I left WebEx." And we said, "What's it going to be called?" He says, "I'm going to call it Zoom." Zoom, the Zoom, yes. Yeah, Giles is being cute. He says it's a good, very UK of him. It's a good few years ago that we were doing that. Yeah. I had to make sure I did the UK part, Giles. It was a good few years ago. Yes. Years ago. Yes, it was. Absolutely. That many years ago. Absolutely.
Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day, Mike. I know it's not midnight
Of course.
yet.
Yeah, you are definitely,
exhausted.
what are you? You're 7 hours ahead of me. So absolutely.
It's 25 to midnight, 25
Yeah.
minutes to midnight. So
Yeah. Oh,
So-
yeah. 6 hours ahead of me. Yeah.
we're still
Understood.
6 hours, yeah.
Oh, and David was here and ran away and came back and ran away. And I know he was
Oh.
playing with Ecamm. I do know that. I was watching him doing some switching as we were talking. So very cool.
That's right.
Yeah. Have a good sleep and have a good weekend. You got any gigs this weekend or no?
Yeah, but it's off-site. It's on site, and my guys are leaving on Sunday. So we'll be packing the car on Sunday morning. They'll drive off, and they're doing the gig on Monday morning, Monday, Tuesday.
So is that
Just-
something that you actually stay put in your office there and he'll send stuff back to you? Or is this
No,
everything's
this is-
on site?
Everything is on site. So this is simple setup.
Cool.
We've got all of the presentation stuff. We've got a company bringing in the interpretation booths. We've got audio equipment from an outside company going in there. So it's more of an integration project. We don't have any big vehicles or big equipment for big events. We always hire whatever we need because we just don't have that expertise to do all of the audio. But for small size events and conferences that are business conferences, that's when we take our own equipment.
Yeah, no, again, know your limits, Robert, and that's good. Yeah, where it's like, but never say no to the client. It's like, okay, I know that it's going to be bigger than I've got, and I'll do my main stuff. That's very good. And that's something that I want to make sure that the YouTube audience understands too, is that Robert knows his limitations of the gear that he's got. And he knows I can do this comfortably, right? And that's so important. And, don't oversell that you can do anything. Of course, anybody can do anything, but you've got to make sure that, as Robert has, he's got the contacts in the industry because he's been doing it for long enough now, that he's got the contacts and he's got the trust level set up, that he has his go-to A, B, C, other company that has the additional gear that he needs when he has that larger venue, larger customer, larger above and beyond his normal kit. Right, Robert?
They've got all the logistics as well because they don't have just the kit. They They've got the transport availability. They've got to move it there, install it. And these are all big cases, so they have to have correct vehicles. They know how to use the correct type of lifts to get into the buildings, all of the ramps at conference centers. And they also provide the manpower to install the equipment, test it, and then they have someone on site that actually runs the equipment. So that is not our area of competence. Our key competence area is to do the interpretation one, to do the live streaming with interpretation. That's why I'm rebuilding the whole of the studio at the moment, because we are seeing a rise once again in streaming with interpretation and with what's our common friend, and I'm very grateful to you, Mike, for introducing him to me, to get
good.
Live captions. Last week they introduced a system which is really super nice, because you can delay the outgoing stream and have someone edit the captions in before they go out. So anything that is not perfect can be edited. And that's super important, because there's certain institutions that have a requirement that you have up to 97% accuracy. So you can have 3% errors, so to say, use the wrong word, get the context wrong. But once the system generates the text, the person who's overseeing looks them, and you have one person in each language. They look at it, edit what do they need, and we set the outgoing delay time for around 2 minutes. So that allows enough time to make the changes, confirm them, put them in, and then see them go out. That's really good.
And you know it's accurate.
And we know it's accurate. So
that's super important. Super important.
These guys are really good. The limitation, of course, is that not everyone will agree to having the information sent to the cloud, to a different platform.
Right. Again, so depending on the corporate structure, the corporate governance that they have. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's still a limitation, but we deal in that differently. So.
Yeah, very cool. I'm glad EEL has been able to help you. Yeah, definitely the delayed product is out there. Again, there's a bit of it's depending on your situation. If there's a tolerance level of your client that, you want accuracy, great. But now I have to delay the live stream to make sure I am accurate for you. So you can't have both, right? You can't have accuracy and real time. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. The challenge here is not so much that the client has a problem with the delay of the stream going out. The challenge here is to get the client to agree to have either 2 minutes in advance on site, and then you're on time on the stream, or 2 minutes delay on the stream, but you're on time on site. It depends where the priority is. And that's the conversation that needs to be held and the decision that needs to be made. But it's not a difficult one, because the two groups of attendees are physically separate from each other.
Right. So for the most part, unless of course you were actually bringing that back into the live venue too, then of course, then you're, as you're doing like a closed captioning type scenario even.
Yeah. But when we're streaming, the questions will come in and then we will answer them with a delay. In just a similar way we do it over here with someone reading the live chat and sending across the questions. We've also got a system where people can just go onto a web page and put in questions, but that's not very popular. It seems to be a good solution, but people have a habit of just dumping everything into the chat. And then you need to be super clever and super attentive to decipher what's a question and what's just clutter and conversation between people in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I've noticed a lot of even YouTube influencers are doing, and I can throw this out to you, is that what a lot of them will say is, that are in like YouTube chat as an example, they'll say, put a Q at the beginning if it's a question. So like a Q colon, then your question. And if it's not that, then you at least have some sort of filter that you could actually do at that particular point. And then you'll go, oh, that's a Q. Okay, read it. This is something worth actually having the host answer, or the person, depending on the situation, answer that question, then you can have your moderator take a look at that, where everything else is basically just noise / comments flying, right?
Yeah. And with if we were using a webinar type situation, we'd be able to use the graphics tool to do that, to capture them. But since it's YouTube, we don't have that. And I haven't figured out how to. I know there are capture tools that allow us to get the comments back into in some sort of format that is usable, and we could feed it into some app that will pull out the questions. But at the moment, the scale of that is so small that it's actually cheaper to just put a person there and who's watching it and pulling out the questions.
Right. And again, you still have that extra moderation too, that you get to, that person that you hopefully is looking at the questions basically knows most of the answers, if not all the answers, and knows that, okay, yeah, the host will be, or this person will be able to answer that, or that person will be able to answer that. Or is this question
we don't want to address that question?
Right. Or corporately, this is an employee that might be a little disgruntled and asking a really funky question. So I'm going, when am I getting my raise? Well, the CEO is not going to do that at the town hall meeting. Yes, been there, done that. Where I've actually had when I set up my system 20-ish years ago at this communication ISP. I actually built that in there too, where they could actually ahead of time ask questions, and or within the actual webpage itself, I had a little form at the bottom where it's like question, and if you want to submit questions, go ahead. Then I ended up bringing it into a webpage, and then I actually had the head of marketing from our company reading all the questions. She said, "Yeah, that one's okay. Nope. Yeah, that one's okay. Yeah, that one's okay. Nope." So I was able to then, set those up to be sent back to the host on one of our screens that was able to show the actual text of that question at the back of the room.
I'll tell you what we have learned from that, though, and I'll share this, and it may be useful for someone, is that people prefer it if we stretch the meeting on for a little longer and read the questions and answer them, even with a short, brief answer, than if someone tries to respond to the questions in the chat. They feel that the value of their question is degraded by someone answering in the chat. And it has more value if it's read out and it goes out live.
Well, I know here, I know the YouTube audience loves it when I break in and actually mention that, I'll let them know in chat that, your question's up next as soon as, as depending on the topic we're doing, or depending on what David's breaking now, in quote. But basically, yeah. So, I'll all of a sudden either make a comment because I'm reading chat and bringing it in, or I'll actually say it audibly as compared to it just being even a lower third. Some, back in the day when vMix was bringing that vMix Social in, where they came up with that functionality of being YouTube, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And of course now vMix Social has Zoom, so you could actually bring Zoom in as well, in as a lower third or as a special bubble. That it was okay, but it wasn't okay that the host would put it up and not necessarily talk about the question still, or even mention, just puts it up and quickly answers it and doesn't actually say what the question is, and puts it up, reads the question, that acknowledges the person, reads the question, says the answer, moves on. So that type of, instead of it being just, or the other that I hate in a lot of the industry ones that I go to, it's usually, oh, well, if we didn't get to your question now, we'll follow up with you in an email. And I'm like, too late. Officially the answer, if you're not answering my question now, just like Robert said, if you're not answering my question now, as soon as I leave, I'm probably going to forget by I even asked you that question, A. And then B, if you do magically get back to me, which I've had some, but it's taken sometimes weeks, if not months. I went, oh yeah, you joined us in this blah, blah, blah webinar. We're getting back to you now. I'm going, now? now. You're not important to me now. You're important to me when I went to the webinar to watch you, but you're not important to me now. I could have moved on to 4 other companies by now. So it is bad. I agree with you, Robert, that, would they rather the meeting go an extra half hour, even longer? Because there's so many questions that need to be answered? Yes, 100%. And even when I was doing stuff in person, they would rather do that too. But again, they had to be careful because now I'm in a physical venue. And if I'm supposed to be out of that physical venue by a certain time, I've got to take that into consideration that, okay, cutoff is no later than this, because now I've got to pack up if you want to not get dinged for another half day rental of hall or venue or, whatever that bill may be. Because again, depending on the negotiating that either I've done for the client or the client has done for the venue, now all of a sudden I might be in trouble because they went long, but yet it's going to take me a half hour to get my gear out of here still. And I've only got 15 minutes to do it. Right. As an example. So again, yeah, long is good, but we still have to, somebody's got to eventually do this to the host going, we're done. Time to wrap it up here. So,
and just coming back to this setup with NDI, the reason I'm really fixated on having the NDI network and the NDI inputs working properly, going to the multi-view and the NDI multi-viewer, is because we can get NDI feeds from WebEx, we can get NDI feeds from Microsoft Teams. So once we've got them, there's a lot you can do and play with from that point. And let's face it, not everyone wants to move on to Zoom to attend a meeting or to attend a webinar or some sort of streaming event.
Right.
Or
and again,
maybe
the
they
biggest
want
thing
to,
you
but
probably
they
run
can't.
into, and the biggest thing you probably run into is the corporation that says we're all in on Office 365, right? Yeah.
Well, it's not a problem for us. We bring it in. We just have to put it in slightly differently, and need to be able to get access to the NDI feeds from that corporate network, which is doable. And we've done these events where we've mixed people from Zoom and Teams into one stream and sent them out. But you do them once, and that after that, the companies suddenly realize that it's better to use Zoom because the quality difference of those two people on screen is so visible that they don't want that.
Yeah. Actually, I can't remember who actually in YouTube chat actually mentioned this earlier. I think it actually might have been Victor that actually made the comment about Teams, and he said just that there was a quality difference like you mentioned. And I said to him, I actually replied back to him in chat. I said, yeah, that's a good thing, and it makes also me sad too because of the fact that that we can't all have the Zoom is so far superior in its quality compared to Teams that Teams just doesn't seem to want to even think about catching up, right? Because it's been like this for a while that you've been using it, Robert, right? With Teams?
Yeah, it's been like this for a while, but they are getting better. But one of the things that I find is that depending on where the audience is, there's a lot of capacity issues locally. So if you have a large corporate network in one location, and Zoom has a solution to that I think it's called Mesh,
right?
And so you don't get into those issues in those sort of areas, in that sort of large organizations. But with MS Teams, I don't understand why they can't get around it when that tool is so important for them. But
yeah,
I guess
and again, they're definitely all in the cloud. That is for sure with their Azure network and such. So they don't want you to have anything local if all possible. And the other one I was going to have you, Robert, before you leave me, is your experience with WebEx. A lot of people using it. Not a lot of people using it.
You know what? The thing about WebEx is that there's several companies, large companies, that have decided to go with WebEx. But the majority of our clients are a slightly different category of corporate users. What I'm seeing happen most often, Mike, is that when Cisco installs a network for a large corporation, a multinational, and they have all Cisco equipment, they give them WebEx.
Ah,
so
interesting.
these organizations will be running MS Teams over their networks, and that'll be their standard environment, daily work environment.
Right.
But I mean, I say that this isn't the best solution. Do you have a WebEx license? And you say, oh, let me go and check. Well, do you use Cisco switches in your network? Yes. Okay, go and check and find out. And they'll come back and say, actually, we do have a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have the pool and it's already on their network, it's very easy for them to get onto that, and they allow access to WebEx.
So it's one of those, we'll bundle it in. They might use it, they might not, but you're already paying X thousands of dollars because Cisco is not cheap when it comes to their switches. You know that,
Sure,
Robert. I know
sure,
that. So,
sure.
So they're just sort of throwing it in as a nicey.
Yeah, but
from sales.
I personally, I like using WebEx. It's a super, super, super tool. And I also like the support that you get from WebEx, because whenever I've had an issue with WebEx during a meeting and I've called their helpline, they will ask me if they can access the meeting and come and look at the problem directly.
Sweet. That is different.
It is amazing the way they work. And the reason they do that is, I think it's the Cisco mindset that big networks have to have support, and they usually have support times in some sort of agreement, service level agreement with them.
Yeah. So like 4 nines, 5 nines type scenario.
So they treat the WebEx application that is being run by these organizations in the same way. Yeah? So I don't know if that's intentional, but from my point of view, it's really, really nice to be able to work with them. However, I will admit that when a Cisco engineer asks me what's going on and I explain it to him, and he asks a follow-up question, I usually don't know how to answer that question because it's so technical.
So it's like, it might be that the network guys have been the lucky ones that actually are now doing support for WebEx too, and they're sort of been cross-trained to, you might get a WebEx call one of these days, and this is how to troubleshoot it.
Yeah, it's at different levels, of course. They have the first tier, second tier, third tier, but even the very first level of support, those are engineers. They're not customer service people. Those guys are engineers, and so they will really, really look deep at the bits and bytes and not at the basic symptoms that need to be resolved. But having said that I don't know how they access their service databases, but they're really quick and they're really accurate with analyzing what the issue is. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. Mike, thanks very much.
Alrighty, sir.
Nice chatting with you. And
and I'm actually going to quickly let YouTube know that if you have any quick questions for Roland and I, if not, we will wrap it up for this week's show. So I'll let you know on YouTube. Robert, good seeing you.
Good.
Hope to see you next week. Have a good show this weekend.
Thank you, and have a good week.
You too. All right. So Roland, anything new and exciting with you before we wrap up? If you're still there. If not, I will wrap us up here momentarily. So YouTube audience, if there's anybody having a quick question for me before I disappear. And of course, I did put in chat, if you want the Zoom Test Kitchen information on our website, we'll get you to the Zoom link, as well as to our Discord, as well as, of course, you are watching us on YouTube. So again, all those links are available on the YouTube or on the Zoom Test Kitchen website. All right. I know there's a bit of delay on YouTube, so I'll just give it a few more seconds before we wrap it up for this week. And before we go into what we would classify in walls as after hours or after show, more specifically, I actually call it that we're going into the living room. And it basically will, so if any of our Zoom Test Kitchen community wants to check us out, you could join us via the Zoom Test Kitchen Zoom link, and we'll be here probably for a little while longer. If not, we'll see everyone next week here on the Zoom Test Kitchen. All right. All right. So a few more seconds here before we wrap it up for this week. All right. So I will prepare the closing theme this week. And usually we do the Deep House 2 version. I'm thinking of changing it up a little bit this week, just because we are so all over the place today, and we're testing all kinds of things, and everybody's having all kinds of different problems in one way or another. I think we need a little bit of a metal version. This is Suno's official classification of our Zoom Test Kitchen theme song. So here we go. Enjoy.
Kitchen, live each week. Tech tricks and tips, come take a peek. From audio to video, we innovate. Join us now, don't be late. Don't be late. Don't be late. Don't be late. Don't be late.
All right. And don't be late. Exactly. It was a little different version. So thanks everyone for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And we'll see everyone here next week on the Zoom Test Kitchen. We're here every Friday from 3 p.m., starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of Zoom Test Kitchen. And you never know what David might break next week. Take care, everyone, on YouTube.